Hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. FPL Raptor here. I think I was supposed to say that before I said welcome back, but hello. How are we all doing today? As I said, it's another live stream. It's the fourth Friday live stream in a row. We haven't had a Saturday deadline yet, which is a bit upsetting. I'll be honest. This isn't to say that I'm not going to have fun this evening, and it's not to say that it won't be a good stream, but I certainly prefer Saturday deadlines. I don't know why. I think there's something quite relaxing, especially if you're UK-based or you're in a similar time zone. There's something very relaxing about waking up on a Saturday and thinking about football, thinking about FPL, and it just being early in the day. I feel like our Fridays are always just slightly more stressful. So I was going to say hello in the chat. I glanced down at the chat and there's just tons of eggs. Why are we all spamming eggs in the chat? Right, I'll spam eggs then as well. This is what we're doing today. Here we go. Eggs. But yeah, I really do prefer Saturday streams. Again, not to say that I don't enjoy the Friday ones, but Saturday for me is the one. Chat, I'll be honest. I'm all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing. I have had a busy week, and I've also been procrastinating making this decision of whether I want to go for Sterling, Foden, or Maddison. And to be honest, I still don't know. It's not even like people claim that it's like to drive up engagement on the streams, and I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't. I think anyone that says there is a clear, obvious answer to Foden, Sterling, Maddison is wrong. And obviously, you can have your opinion on it, but I don't think there is an objectively correct answer. So I think it's just about backing what you think is right in your heart, almost like trusting your gut feeling. I think on this case. There are already a couple of super chats. We'll just answer those before we move on to my team. Rashford to Foden for a -4. No, not for me. Austin Gould has been a member for 11 months. Thank you very much. And Burmo for Martinelli or Roll for 2 free transfers after the international break. I would Roll. I think Martinelli could do really well this week. I'm going to sell Martinelli myself, which we'll discuss in a second. But if you've not got 2 free... If I didn't have 2 free transfers, I'd be very tempted to Roll. I'm only removing Martinelli because I like the other 3 options. And also, I've got 2 free transfers. Matoma March out for Diaz Maddison for a -4. No. And Jackson captain instead of Haaland. No. I say no to both of those. I'm not a big fan of taking a hit to remove players like Matoma, Martinelli. It doesn't feel like the best play for me. And play Saliba Bulldog upgrader 4.0. I guess you could play Bulldog and hope he starts, but there are rumours of him leaving. You could try and play Saliba and hope that it's a close game. I'm not sure. I don't like playing Saliba particularly, but I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. In advance, by all means, pose the question to me. But in advance, if you ask me, should you do X to Y for a -4, and the player that you're taking out is fine as an option, I'm going to say no. So this is my team. Let me move me over a little bit. I haven't made a transfer yet. As always, make my transfers on the deadline stream. I don't know what I'm doing, really. I mean, well, I know what I'm doing. I think it's Martinelli's coming out, and I think it will be one of Foden, Sterling, Maddison coming in. This isn't to say that I think Martinelli's a bad option, by the way, and I think people are getting it very, very confused here. Martinelli is great. Again, if I had 1 free transfer as opposed to 2, I'd be very tempted to just roll the second. And I know you could say, well, just use one of your free transfers on something like Pickford and just keep your midfield. But I do genuinely still believe that Sterling, Maddison, Foden are slightly better options than Martinelli. But would I take a hit for it? Probably not. And this week in particular, Manchester United are probably going to play a back line of Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, and Dalot. Malacia, Shaw, and Varane are all injured. Yes, Amrabat might be starting, and that might make us more defensive if we start Amrabat and Casemiro. But this, by all accounts, looks like a good game for Martinelli and a good game for Arsenal. So, do I think Martinelli will do well this week? Probably. But that isn't... I'm not removing him because I think he will do badly. And something that you have to think is that you're not removing Martinelli for 1 week. You are picking one of the other options for the foreseeable future. And do I think Sterling, Maddison, Foden will outscore Martinelli over the next 5 weeks? I would expect all 3 of them to. And that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm not thinking just about the Manchester United game. And of course, you could say you delay it a week. But for me, I think if you think a player is slightly better, then you take them out and you bring in the one that you think is slightly better. So for me, Martinelli will be getting sold. God knows which of the 3 I'm going to end up bringing in. Start Areola against Luton or Flecken against Bournemouth. Flecken. Bournemouth are quite good. It's at home. I would go Flecken. I'd go Flecken ahead of Areola, but that's a really difficult one. Matoma to Maddison. For free, I like Matoma to Maddison. Not for a hit, but for free, Matoma to Maddison. That sounds good. Havertz to Mbeumo for a hit. That's one I like slightly more as a hit. I don't mind that because you're taking out an asset that I don't think is a good option for one that I think is a great one. So that is one that I don't mind, yeah. With only one free transfer, do I do Udogi for Pau Torres and start him instead of Saliba, or do I do Maddison for Martinelli? Yeah, maybe... yeah, maybe if you're going to have to start Saliba, maybe bringing in Udogi is a good idea. But I think I would prefer to bring in Udogi for Saliba than Pau Torres. I think I would keep Pau Torres. Apologies. I think I would do Udogi in for Saliba. And then maybe keep Martinelli for one more week. Start Estepinian or Henry. Mbeumo or Sterling in for Rashford or Saka. I'd rather sell Rashford than Saka. And I prefer Sterling to Mbeumo. Just for the next few fixtures. João Pedro and either Saka or Rashford out for Alvarez and Sterling for a -4. I have doubts over Pedro. Or do I roll and have 2 free transfers for game week 5? Yeah, if you're going to do that again, I would remove Rashford. I do think selling João Pedro probably makes sense. Like he's going to be an issue for you. You might as well get rid of him as soon as possible. My boyfriend or best friend, my BF, has been asking me Foden or Maddison the whole week so much that I mistakenly moaned What on earth is that message? I can't read that out. That is naughty. I just started reading it with that. If you want to read the message that I was just about to read out, you can... The super chat from Saley. By all means, read that out, chat. I'm not gonna read it out live because wow, that's some post deadline stuff. But thank you for the super chat. Transfer in Udogi, Vardiol, or Diaz. Knock Vardiol. I'm going to discuss this in a second. I have reason to believe that Vardiol could be benched in game week 4. I said that I wouldn't be doing City early team news anymore, but I have been informed that there's a good chance that Vardiol is benched in game week 4. I don't know that for a fact, by the way. So it would be Udogi or Diaz. I'd probably go Udogi. If you had to bring in a City defender, who would it be? Also, would you be replacing Saliba or Botman? If I brought in a City defender, it would be Diaz, and I would replace Saliba. I'd rather Udogi, though. If you've not got Udogi, I prefer him to a City defender. I have Chilwell, Colwell, and Jackson, 2 free transfers. Pick one. Colwell and Son to Sterling Diaz, or Baldock and Son to Maddison and Diaz. Maddison and Diaz. Yeah, I like... Although I don't mind keeping Son. I really don't mind keeping Son. Yeah, that super chat was quite something. Baldock at home to Everton. Is he a good punt? Aren't there rumours that Baldock was leaving, or have they been squashed? I haven't really kept up to date with it because I don't own Baldock, but I would be a little bit worried about the rumours that were floating around. Areola or Pickford to start? Areola. Start Ødegaard or Julian Alvarez? Definitely Alvarez. Yes, Raptor. I've got two free transfers. I've got Foden, same mids as you, apart from Mbeumo for Foden. Okay. Bring in 1 or 2 mids. Is Mbeumo essential? Sterling and Mad's the other option. I would bring in Sterling or Maddison for Martinelli. I like the idea of backing against Mbeumo. Yes, he's done well. Yes, he's still on penalties. Yes, he's very nailed. But I feel like there is a lot of upside in Foden, Sterling, Maddison. So I would be looking at those 3 instead. Dino K says, I have Saka, Rashford, Bruno, Maddison, Foden, Jackson, and Haaland. I have 1 free transfer. Thinking of doing Rashi or Saka to Sterling, leaning towards Saka due to fixtures, thoughts, or just roll. I prefer keeping Saka and selling Rashford, but I would roll. I think that team's a definite roll for me. But if you're going to do one, I would do Rashford to Sterling. But yeah, I would roll that definitely. I have 2 free transfers. Still have Gabriel. Do I hold? No, I don't think so. I think if you've got 2 free transfers and you've still got Gabriel to Udogi, Henry, Diaz, something like that probably makes sense. Is Maddison priority over Mbeumo? I can bring in 1. I do prefer Maddison to Mbeumo, yeah, Harry. Alf Wildcard says, can we hear more from Saley, please? No. Saley's unfortunately not allowed to super chat anymore after that. Hey, Ross, love your streams. Keep it up. I have a massive dilemma. Rashi, Diaby, and Pedro out. Why are you selling Diaby? Out for Sterling, Maddison and Whistle, or do I sell Matoma? I would sell Matoma instead of Diaby. I'd be keeping Diaby. I'm looking at buying Diaby at some point, so... they should bring a mandatory CDM spot in from FPL from next season. Picks like Rodri, Casemiro, Douglas Luiz would make it more tasty. I don't disagree. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? If you had to pick a CDM. I mean, Rodri would be the one to own at the moment, but I don't mind it. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I guess. Would you consider West Ham assets? Maybe, but not now. Like, if I just bring up their fixtures quick. Where's a West Ham asset? Here we go. Luton's great, but then 3 of the next 4, Man City, Liverpool, and Newcastle, and Villa. I mean, 4 of the next 5 fixtures are quite tough. So I'm looking at West Ham, and this is one of the reasons why I want to play a Game Week 9 wildcard. That's a lovely run for West Ham. By the way, chat, we're going to get onto this in a bit because I think it'll influence my decision that I make today. I wouldn't say fully committed to a Game Week 9 wildcard, but I would say I'm leaning like 70-80% likely to play a Game Week 9 wildcard now. I think Game Week 9, like for example, Manchester United's fixtures, obviously really okay for Game Week 9 onwards. So if you end up selling one of your Manchester United assets, you could bring them back. I would say Brentford, their fixtures start to turn a little bit dodgy from Game Week 9. And so maybe you've got some Brentford assets you want to sell them. Obviously, we spoke about West Ham as well. West Ham from Game Week 9 onwards, fixtures are really, really good. Who's the other teams? We've got Aston Villa. Aston Villa's fixtures from about Game Week 8, Game Week 9 onwards, really, really strong. And then the other team is... the other team is Liverpool. Again, if we look at Liverpool's fixtures from around Game Week 9 onwards, really, really nice. So I think the more I think about this, the more I really do want to play a Game Week 9 wildcard. I know Game Week 19 could be a really nice week as well, but I might just go early and aggressive this year. By the way, if you are enjoying today's stream thus far, please do a couple of things for me. Number one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of September. So if you would like to help me achieve that goal, please do consider subscribing. And then the second thing, I've pinned my Instagram at the top of the live chat. Once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a big giveaway on Instagram, and there will be 5 winners in total. So if you want the chance to win a potential prize, and I'll discuss what that is once we hit 100,000, make sure to subscribe and also make sure to follow me on Instagram. Like I said, it's either in the description or it's pinned at the top of the chat. Or just type in FPL Raptor and you'll find me over there. Right. 1 free transfer, Richarlison to Maddison or Roll? Richarlison to Maddison. I have Guardiola. Should I do Bulldog to you, Doggy, to cover the bench? So what I've been told... Should I tell you this? Do you know what? I'm not going to put it on Twitter, but I'll tell you. I have been told, before I get back to everything else... I've been told that's the 11. That's what I've been told. Right? So Luke's called this his predicted lineup. Yeah, predicted. I have been informed that that's not a predicted lineup. That's it. So I've been told that that will be the 11. That's what I'm going to say. So if that's correct, which again, I cannot confirm, Foden and Alvarez look great. And if you do have Guardiola, then yes, you might want to either start someone else instead or get some good bench cover. I will just say that this is very early to get a starting 11, and Guardiola could quite easily start there instead of Ake. So if there are any doubts in your mind, maybe just start him, and as I said, maybe improve the bench. But I again, I haven't got like 100% confirmation on that. So take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Let me just get my team back and then I'll get back to it. I know there's a few super chats that I've missed. I'll get them in 2 seconds. What do we think of my team, chat? Are we enjoying it? Is it looking good? Maybe we should run a poll quickly, actually, before I get back to the super chats. Start a poll. Who do you prefer if you can only have one? Maddison, Sterling, Foden, start poll. Late to the party, but I'm here. Hello, Yellow Beans. How are you? You're never late to the party. Never too late. Right. Sorry, I've missed like 305 super chats. I'm doing them now. I'm doing them now. Oh my God, is Saley back? Oh God, Saley, stop with these super chats. I have done Sterling for Martinelli. I have another free transfer. Okay. Would you do Matoma to Maddison or roll? I would do Matoma to Maddison. Yeah, I would do that. Wildcard used. Son in for 2 and then out for Bruno. Nice. I like the sound of that, Fonzie. Yep. You get rid of Bruno for the difficult 2 fixtures. You get Son for the nice 2. That's actually a really nice idea. I don't mind that at all. Rage Cage says, current mids, Rashi, Saka, Martinelli, Richarlison, Bruno. I have 2 free transfers. Can you help? Love the streams as always. Appreciate your advice. I would do Richarlison and Martinelli out for Sterling and Maddison. They would be my transfers. Saley says, my boyfriend is mad at me that I told that on the super chat. You are his favourite, always listens to your streams every week, and I try my best to distract him. Well, I hope you both enjoy watching the streams together, and I appreciate the support, Saley. Last week, I asked what you thought of Eze to Sterling. You said that you thought it was a good idea. I opted to hold Eze. My gut instinct failed me. Yeah, but often your gut instincts will be right. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, yeah, I would do Eze to Sterling, but it's difficult in that position, so I don't really blame you. Fantasy Football Chronicle says, hi, Ross. Big fan of your work. Thank you very much. Your expertise has been inspiring. I'm kindly requesting a shout out to help my channel grow, knowing your support could make an impact. There you go. Fantasy Football Chronicles. I don't normally do shout outs based on super chats, but it's a fantasy football. There you go. Go follow a YouTube channel by that name. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, God, chat, I'm struggling here. Shaw and João Pedro to Alvarez and Gusto, or Shaw and Matoma to a £4.5 million defender and Sterling. I think Shaw and João Pedro to like Henry and Sterling or something along those lines I would go for. I thought you said you got 4.5 for a defender. Or maybe... I don't know. I don't really understand the question. You've given me like 2 different options, but I would go for the one where you can get Sterling into your team personally. Christian says, thoughts on a -4 for Pedro to Alvarez or Darwin? I don't mind a -4 for Pedro to Alvarez. I think you just want to get rid of João Pedro. Yes, he could start in any given week, but he's clearly not favoured and the fixtures coming up are pretty terrible. So I like the idea of just getting rid of João Pedro as soon as possible. Saka, Matoma, Eze, Foden, Rashford with 1 free transfer. Who goes out and who comes in? I think Matoma's the one to sell there, and I think it's either Sterling, Maddison, or Foden. I can't help you with that. I've given you my opinion throughout the week on the pros and the cons of each of them, but it's up to you who you fancy, honestly. I have put a poll, by the way, in the chat. So if you are in the chat and you've not yet voted on the poll, feel free to vote on it. It just is Maddison, Sterling, Foden. Who's your favourite? Again, I know a lot of you might have like 2 or 3 of them, but just vote on who your favourite is. Like, if you could only own one of them, who would that be? Right. I'm back. Sterling is not injured. Nope, Sterling's fine. He was just rested. Sterling's fine. Well, as far as we know anyway, there's no injury. Hi, Ross. When will you be looking to remove Pickford? Probably my Game Week 9 wildcard. I'm planning a wildcard in Game Week 9. That'll probably be when I look to remove Pickford. Which option should you go for? Option 1, Rashford to Foden for free. Option 2, Rashford to Sterling and James to Trippier. I would go Rashi to Foden for free. Cash or Estepinian? Estepinian. I know you're saying you're a Toon fan, but I would still go Estepinian there. Foden / Sterling, who is better for a 5-game week stretch? For 5 game weeks, I'd say Sterling. For 2 to 3 game weeks, maybe Foden. For 6+ game weeks, Maddison. It really does depend how long your horizon is. Matoma and Shaw to Sterling or Maddison or Angie Dogie. Yeah, that sounds good. But again, between Sterling and Maddison, it's up to you. But Matoma and Shaw to one of those and your doggy sounds good. I was looking to roll my free transfer to have 2 next week, but to get from Matoma to Maddison and Sterling, but no hit. But with the City leak, should I use my free transfer from Gvardiol to Diaz? No, I would keep Gvardiol. You've brought a Man City defender. You shouldn't be surprised when that Man City defender is benched. So no, I wouldn't be selling Gvardiol. And again, we don't even know that Gvardiol is benched. I'm just saying that's what the rumour is that's going around. 1 free transfer, roll or do Martinelli to Foden / Sterling? I don't mind either, but I would probably roll. Would I? Yeah, I would be. I think Martinelli's fine this week. I really do. I don't think there's any issue with keeping Martinelli. Bring 2 out of the 3 in Maddison, Sterling, or in Burmo. I'd go Maddison and Sterling. Always fail my double game week triple captain. Haaland triple captain this week. Could do. It's not a bad fixture. Like, this is one of the better ones. It's a home fixture against a very leaky defence. I think there are definitely worse fixtures that you could potentially triple captain him. What is the Man City leak? There's a lineup going around, and apparently it's correct, is all that the leak was. But I'm not like 1,000% set on that being the case. That's just what I've heard. Bruno to Maddison -4, no. Or João Pedro to Alvarez -4. I don't mind the latter. I wouldn't be selling Bruno. I wouldn't sell Bruno for free, let alone for a hit. Salza says, I have Rashford, Bruno, and Burmo, Saka, Foden, and 1 free transfer. Should I roll or transfer 1 out? If transfer, who should I transfer out? I would roll. I'd roll there, Salzo. Have to bench 1. Luis Diaz, Diaby, or Wissa. Help. I'd bench Luis Diaz. Already took a hit. Play Zinchenko or Gvardiol. I'd play Gvardiol and hope that the rumours are wrong, because Zinchenko's just not a particularly great option this week on paper. Start Turner versus Chelsea or Onana versus Arsenal. Onana. I think you've got to start Onana there. Sell Salah or keep. I think it depends how many other issues you have in your team. But if there are no other issues in your team, selling. If you've got other issues to deal with, I think you could probably keep him for another week or 2. Gabriel to Gvardiol or Henry using the 2nd free transfer. Gabriel to Henry, I would go, Lewis. Gabriel to Henry. 1 free transfer. Sell Eze or Rashi for Mbeumo / Sterling or roll. I would roll. I would roll there. I think both Eze and Rashford absolutely fine for this week. Is Captain Bowen too risky? Yes, for me. I think when Haaland's got such a plum fixture, I just don't see the... I guess I see the value in going against him, but I don't see, like... I wouldn't personally be doing that. Congrats on 96k, Ross. Did we hit 96k? Hey, thank you very much for subscribing. Again, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. We're trying to hit 100,000 basically as soon as possible. We're only 4,000 subscribers away. We're obviously not going to do that on this stream, but the closer we can get, the better. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Would you rather sell Rashford or Matoma? Matoma. I'd rather sell Matoma. Play Estepinian or Colwill? I would play Colwill and hope that he's fit to start. And if he's not, Estepinian comes on. Start Gusto or Estepinian? I would start Gusto. I would start your Chelsea defenders ahead of Estepinian. Listen, I know Estepinian's very attacking, but this isn't a particularly great fixture. And Newcastle have looked pretty good going both ways. So I would expect Newcastle to win this. And I wouldn't be surprised to see an Estepinian blank. If I had a better asset than Saliba, I would bench Estepinian. I just don't really have a better asset, unfortunately. Salah and Matoma to Bruno and Maddison, but take a -4. Salah and Matoma to Bruno and Maddison, but take a -4. No. I'm not a massive fan of that. I would maybe try and do like Matoma to Sterling if you can get there for free or something. I don't hate it. It's fine. But you're taking out 2 good assets for a -4. Do you reckon Rashford to Sterling is too risky? Is it too risky? It's not too risky, but it is risky. Bench Estepinian for you, Doggy. Am I insane? No, I'd definitely start you, Doggy, ahead of Estepinian for sure. Start Watkins or Matoma. I'd honestly start Watkins. I'd start Watkins ahead of Matoma. Martinelli to Maddison and then Burmo to Sterling. Don't sell Mbermo. No. Martinelli to Maddison, yes. I wouldn't be selling Mbermo this week. Only one free transfer. Erdegaard to Maddison. Saliba to Udogi. Gvardiol or Save. Erdegaard to Maddison looks good to me. Yeah, Erdegaard to Maddison looks nice. Big up, Ross. Foden and Wissa or Saka and Alvarez. I have Mbermo. I still like Foden and Wissa slightly more, regardless of who you already own, I think. A lot of people asking what my plans are. It's the same as what I've said all week. So the plan at the moment is to sell Martinelli for one of Foden, Maddison, Sterling. Which of the three I'm getting, I don't know. It'll probably be one of those sort of last-minute panic decisions, to be honest. But yeah, I'm probably only going to use the one free transfer. I'll roll the second, because I've got 2 free transfers and 1 million in the bank. And yeah, at the moment, the plan is Martinelli to one of Foden, Maddison, Sterling. And roll the second free transfer. So that post-international break, I've got 2 free transfers. I am still tempted to do Rashford to one of the ones that I don't bring in. But I just think up until game week 9, when I want to play my wild card, I really don't mind the idea of keeping Rashi. Simon Phillips says, wondering if you can help. Johnston, Gusto, Chilwell, Udogi. Okay, you give me your whole team. And then you've just got one free transfer. What do you suggest I do? I would roll your transfer, Simon. I'd roll your transfer. But if you do want to make a transfer, I'd probably go Salah to Maddison or Sterling, probably. Mbermo to Maddison or Rashi to Maddison. Definitely not Mbermo. If you want to do one, if you desperately want Maddison, it's got to be Rashford. Bench Matoma or Diaby or Watkins. I'd bench Matoma and I'd start Diaby and Watkins. Bench one of you, Doggy, Henry, and Mark Gahey. It'd have to be Gahey for me. Bench Bruno and play Alvarez, Jackson, Haaland. I mean, out of those options, yes, I would bench Bruno, but I would be looking to find a way where you don't bench Bruno personally. Eze in, Matoma out, taking my wildcard into the next international break. Yeah, I don't know that I would be... I don't know that Eze would be top of my list, but I guess if you're on a budget, maybe Eze's the one. I don't know. I don't think that Eze's a much better option than Matoma. Salah, Diaz or Jota? Diaz. Ross, just wanted to say thank you for your streams and Discord. Had great advice and let me do some good transfers. Keep it going, Eggy. You are welcome. And make sure to join the Discord as well. There is a link in the description to join the Discord. We have over 3,500 people in it. So definitely do it. It's completely free. And you are more than welcome. Nature and Travel says Martinelli and Rashford to Sterling and Maddison for a hit. Martinelli and Rashford to Sterling, Maddison for it. If not happy with the hit, please suggest one. I wouldn't take the hit. I would just do Martinelli to one of Sterling or Maddison. Again, that is up to you because it is literally a 50-50 in my head. Like, for me to pick one, it's just going to be based on my gut feeling. And you shouldn't make your decisions based on my gut feeling. So I think that's a 50-50, and I would keep Rashford, is my opinion on it. That isn't to say that you can't get away with selling Rashford. Like, selling Rashford could definitely work. Martinelli to Eze, free transfer or roll? I would roll. You missed my super chat. Bench Matoma or Diaby or Watkins? I answered your super chat now. I would bench Matoma. 70k overall. That's a great rank. Love your videos. Martinelli to Maddison. Yes to that. And thank you very much for the super chat. Archer or Estepinian? Ooh. Archer. Give Archer a go. Go on, why not? Foden, Saka, Bruno, Eze, Maddison in midfield. Alvarez, Jackson, Haaland in attack. Who to bench? Eze, probably. I'd probably bench Eze. I have Gvardiol. Who should I start over him? Estepinian, Udogi, or should I play 4 defenders and bench Rashford? I would potentially bench Estepinian. Or you could bench Gvardiol, because there are rumours going around that Gvardiol's not starting. Erdegaard to Maddison or roll? I don't mind Erdegaard to Maddison. I don't mind Odegaard to Maddison. That's good. That's a decent transfer. Trippier or Udogi? I would go Udogi for now with the view of getting Trippier around game week 6. I don't think you need to do Trippier now. Although you could. Like, the next 2 fixtures aren't terrible for Newcastle, but I think you can wait. Why is Maddison so much better than Sterling? I don't think he is. So, in the poll at the moment, almost 5,000 votes, and we've got 51% saying Maddison, 28% saying Sterling, and 21% saying Foden. So actually a lot more for Foden than I thought, and a lot less for Sterling than I thought. So at the moment, Maddison's the clear favourite. So if you want to... Apologies. If you want to play attacking, Sterling and Foden. If you want to play defensive, i.e. pick the player that is going to be most highly owned, it is Maddison. Udogi versus Porro. Udogi, I think. Are you making a transfer, Ross? Yes, I am. I am indeed. My transfer is going to be Martinelli out and then someone in here. Here's my thing, right? I'll go back to the graphic that I made earlier in the week. I think at the moment I am probably leaning Sterling, but that could change literally on this stream. The reason for that is I think for me, a game week 9 wildcard looks very likely, right? I think when I'm thinking about when am I going to want to play it, I don't think my team is going to be very well set up from game week 9 onwards. So game week 9 wildcard feels quite likely. When you then think that, who has the best fixtures over the next 5? It's Sterling. He's got Bournemouth, Forest, Fulham, and Burnley. And the only tricky fixture is against Villa, but it's at home. So I'm actually starting to think that if it's just the next 5 weeks, if in your head you are already thinking, I probably will play the wildcard in 9, I think Sterling's fixtures are just so good that it's difficult to not pick him. If you're looking beyond that, let's say you don't think you want your wildcard in game week 9, and you're looking at 6 to 8 game weeks, or maybe even up until the Christmas break, and you're looking up until game week 19, then James Maddison's probably the one. Because I think he's just so central to everything Spurs will do. I think he will tick along very, very comfortably, and the fixtures are slightly better long term. So, and then I think Foden will be the best player this week. If you were to ask me who's going to score the most points this week, it's Foden for me. So if it's a very short-term punt, it's Foden. If it's the next 5 weeks, it's Sterling. And if it's 6 weeks plus, I think it's Maddison. That's the way that I'm viewing it at the moment based on the fixtures and also minutes as well. So if I am planning to play the wildcard in 5 weeks, then Sterling probably makes the most sense. So that's roughly where I am at the moment, chat. So it's probably likely that that's my move. Leaves me 1.8 million in the bank, which, by the way, is enough to comfortably, in game week 5, if I want to, make the Trippier move. And then I would have one further free transfer as well. Do you know what? Let's move over to Hub quick just to show you what this looks like. So if in game week 4... I will get to the couple of super chats that I've missed in a second. Don't worry. I'm just talking through my team quickly. So let's say that I do the move as planned. Sterling in game week 5, I've then, like I said, I've got 1.8 million in the bank and 2 free transfers. There's a very good chance that I bring Udogi in for Estepinian. And I can bring Trippier in for Saliba. I know I've got a bit of a clash then between Mbermo and Trippier, but it's not the end of the world. And then I've still got 1 free transfer as well. Actually, I would have Turner in, wouldn't I? Then I would still have 1 free transfer. I would probably roll that across to game week 6 because I don't really need it that week. And then at this stage, I would be very, very tempted to potentially move on one of Saka or one of my United mids, depending on how they're performing. And then I can still move for the likes of a James Maddison or probably more likely a Phil Foden at that stage if I still feel like he's doing well for a couple of weeks. So I've got like a few options in there, but the 1.8 million in the bank kind of sets me up quite nicely to bring in Trippier if I want to. And I'm not saying I definitely will want to, but Trippier's Trippier. And I feel like we've maybe forgotten how good Trippier is, just because the fixtures haven't been great for Newcastle. Yes, Botman. So I do have a Newcastle source, but I told you I'm not bothering with early team news and stuff. But I do have someone that is in the know at Newcastle. And he's told me that he thinks Botman will be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So Botman should be back soon, which is why I've just got no real desire to sell Botman. Because I don't really need Botman until game week 6. And he should be back by game week 6. Trippier or Udogie? I think I answered that one. Udogie for the short term, Trippier slightly longer term. Richarlison to Maddison with only 1 free transfer. Yes. Help. Diaz/Pedro, Darwin/Sterling for a hit, or Pedro to Wissa for free. I think Pedro to Wissa for free. Actually, the £4 million defender to Udogie makes more sense. I'm not that keen on Darwin yet. I don't think Darwin's going to start every game. I know, obviously, it's great that he looks so good off the bench, but he hasn't started a single game in the Premier League this season. I don't see any reason why he would suddenly start starting every game now. So even if he starts in game week 4, I wouldn't trust that he starts in game week 5, unfortunately. Lance says, would you bench Eze or Watkins? Oh, my camera's gone. Nice and early. This is a tough one. Chat, can you help us here? Because there are a few people that have been asking this. Would you bench Eze or Watkins? It's not an easy one by any means. Do you know what? I'm going to let the chat answer that, and we'll answer it again in a minute. But Eze or Watkins, chat, who would you start? Who would you bench? I'm actually going to just... Where is the chat gone? Watkins, Eze. Lots of people are saying bench Eze. Everyone's saying start. Maybe we'll spin the wheel in a second, but most people are saying... You missed my super chat. Start Gusto or Estepinian. I answered that super chat and I said Gusto. Eze versus... I would start Eze, but most people are... It's a really close one, actually. It's all changed now. All of a sudden, people are saying start Eze. I think it's literally a 50-50. I think they've both got a decent fixture on paper. They're both very, very good for minutes as well. They're both very talismanic. Double Chelsea defence, Colwell and Chilwell. Yeah, that sounds good to me. 2 free transfers. Erdegaard and Matoma to Maddison and Foden. Love that. Very, very nice, Jack. Sell Diaby for Maddison. Start Cash or Gabriel. I wouldn't sell Diaby. And I'd start Cash instead of Gabriel because I think he's got more chance for an attacking return. Do you think Palmer at 4.9... What do you think of Palmer at 4.9? In the future, I think he's good, but I don't think he'll go straight into starting every game. So I like Palmer, but I don't like him yet. Pickford to Edison for a -4. No. Not in a million years would I ever make that move. Not in a million years. Hi, Ross. Martinelli and Matoma out for Maddison and Sterling, or Maddison and Mbeumo. So basically Sterling or Mbeumo. I would probably keep Matoma and not take the -4, but if you want to, I think I would go Maddison. Rank Mbeumo, Foden, Maddison, Sterling. For the next 5 weeks, Sterling, Maddison, Mbeumo, Foden. Just maybe Foden and Mbeumo would be... I think Maddison and Sterling would be my top 2. Currently 401st in the world. Mad. 99 points last week. Got any general FPL advice for me to try and stay high? If you're watching, subscribe. Thank you for telling people to subscribe. Any advice? Just keep having fun with it. It's very unlikely, unless you absolutely smash it, that you will stay there. So just enjoy it while you're there. Make the same decisions you would if you were 401st or if you were 401,000, right? It doesn't really matter. Make the best decisions you possibly can. Bring in the players that you think will score points. Ignore ownership and just focus on your own game would be my advice. Thoughts on Sterling and Mbeumo for Matoma for my second free transfer. Already done Maddison for Martinelli. Yeah, Sterling for Matoma for a free sounds very nice to me. I don't mind that at all, Sam. Freddie says, would you bench Wissa or Rashford and Matoma to Foden for a -4? I would... I'd bench Rashford and start Wissa, and I wouldn't sell Matoma, personally. Well, I would sell Matoma, but not for a -4. Gabriel to a Palace defender or Henry. Much love from Australia. I prefer Henry, and big up to Australia. Thank you, Joel. I have triple City attack and you doggy in Chilwell. Would you double up on Spurs or Chelsea? I have one free transfer thinking Martinelli to Maddison or Sterling. I wouldn't think about the double up. I would just think Maddison versus Sterling. So I can't answer your question. I would not view it as which team do you want to double up on, especially as the double up is with a defender, if that makes sense. Do make sure you are voting on that poll. Are you keeping both Rashford and Bruno? At the moment, yes. But if I were to only keep one, I would be keeping Bruno and I'd be selling Rashford. But yeah, at the moment, I'm probably planning to keep both. Hey, Ross. Eze and Gabriel out for Colwell and Sterling. What are your thoughts? I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. Sounds like a decent set of moves. You're getting much better fixtures there. I do feel like Eze could do well this week, though, is my only slight concern. But he's not been great in the opening 3. Nature and Travel says, would you advise buying Diaby over the Maddison Sterling hype? No, but from game week 8 onwards, yes. I do really like Diaby, and obviously Liverpool don't have Konate or Van Dijk this week, but I still feel like Diaby is a transfer for in like the future. I don't feel like you need to make that Diaby move now. Start 2 out of these 3. Henry, Udogie, Estepinian. I would bench Estepinian, and thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate the super chat. But yeah, I would bench Estepinian there. Rashford to Maddison / Sterling and Pedro to Jackson. Yep, that sounds perfect, Shane. That sounds perfect. Turner, Onar. Okay, you've given me your entire team. 1 free transfer. Should I get Sterling for Rashford? Yeah, don't change the goalkeepers. Yes. I would roll the transfer, prop enough. But if you want to make the transfer, I do think Sterling for Rashford's probably the most sensible one there. Tempted to start Archer over Erdegaard. What are your thoughts? No. I'd start Erdegaard. Start Matoma or Diaby. Start Udogie or Henry. I would start Diaby. Diaby and Udogie would be my 2 that I would start. I know they both have away fixtures, but I think they've just got a slightly higher ceiling at the moment. Hi, Ross. Start Sarr or João Pedro? Probably João Pedro. Tonelli. Do you mean Tonali? For Mbeumo or Maddison, I have Foden, 3 Chelsea. I prefer Maddison if you can afford it. How do you feel about starting Baldock over Saliba? I'd go for it. Yeah, go for it. Why not? I don't think Saliba's keeping a clean sheet. And he's not very attacking at all. Matoma and Erdegaard for Sterling and Maddison. Yeah, I don't hate that. Sorry, chat, 1 second. Taking off my socks. Bit hot. Bit overheated. I know, it's not an OnlyFans stream. I know I've got my feet out. You're not going to get to see the feet. Don't worry. Start João Pedro or get rid for a -4 with Welbeck out. I would just still get rid of... I just think you still need to get rid of João Pedro. João Pedro is going to be an issue. Even, like we said, within Ciso out, maybe he's an issue. So I'd get rid of João Pedro ASAP, in my opinion. Would you bring in Sterling for Rashford for a -4 hit? I wouldn't take a hit to remove Rashford, no. Saka and Richarlison out for Maddison and Sterling. Yes. I don't mind that, Liam. As far as hits go, that's not a terrible one. I would be tempted to just do Richarlison to one of Maddison or Sterling, though. If that was my team, I'd keep Saka. But yeah, if you want to take -4, then you can go for it. Jude says, I have 1 free transfer in Maddison already. What do you think about Rashford to Foden versus Saliba to Guardiola versus Onana to Ederson? I don't massively like any of them. I would probably just roll the second free transfer, Jude. But if you want to make one, I'd say Saliba to Diaz if you can afford it. Matoma to Mbeumo or Martinelli to Sterling? Matoma to Mbeumo or Martinelli to Sterling? Maybe Matoma to Mbeumo and keep Martinelli for 1 more week. Okay, Colin's given me his team. Sterling, Maddison, and Burmo this week. Bench. I think you've probably got to bench Eze there, and I would roll the transfer, Colin. If you've got a free transfer, then maybe you remove Rashford. Like if you've got two, but if you've only got one free transfer, I would roll. What's the most hits you've ever taken in one game week? I took a -20. And it paid off. It was actually a very, very good -20 hit. Sorry, I forgot to mute myself there. Just swigging down. Right, loads of people are asking about Gvardiol, like whether they should bring him in. Again, just a rumour, but I am being told that this predicted 11, again, Luke's called it a predicted 11. I've been informed that that is the actual starting 11 for Man City in Game Week 4. But the reason that I'm not 100% is just apparently this is I don't know if I'm allowed to say what this is based on, but this isn't that someone's been given the team sheet. This is based on what has been maybe seen in training, let's say that maybe this is the starting 11 instead. So it could be that there are late-minute changes. It could be last-minute changes, I should say. Or it could be that actually what was going on in training wasn't what's actually going to happen in the game. But based on the information that we have, apparently this was the team that was setting up ready for Fulham. So hopefully that answers your Gvardiol questions. Sorry, chat. I needed to cough then. I didn't want to do it on the mic. Assad says, Gabriel to Henry, you doggy Anderson, or play Archer and save the transfer, and what to do with Salah. Keep Salah, start Archer, and save the transfer. Yeah, I would do that, Assad. And I would go into post-international break with 2 free transfers. Play 2 of Udogi, Estepinian, Archer, Gahey. I would play Udogi and Archer. I have Foden already. Saka and Rashford for Maddison and Sterling. I will not take a hit for this. I would not be removing Saka and Rashford, in my personal opinion. I think both are fine to keep. If you want to sell one, I think you sell Rashford instead of Saka. And I think you do Rashford to one of Maddison and Sterling. I'm not sure how I feel about removing both Saka and Rashford. Martinelli and Pedro to Bowen or Madders and Jackson. Yeah, I don't mind that, Alex. I'd prefer Maddison to Bowen, personally. Is anyone taking a 1-week punt on any West Ham assets? Is anyone going for a Bowen or an Antonio? Parahawk says Foden and Rashford out for Maddison/Sterling and Bruno. Foden and Rashford out for Maddison/Sterling and Bruno. Wait, Foden and Rashford out? Why are you selling Foden? And why are you selling Rashford? I don't like that, Parahawk. If you're going to do one of them, maybe do Rashi to Maddison or Sterling. There is no chance in hell I would ever be thinking of considering selling Foden. I want to bring Foden in. I asked Cash or Estepinian, but can you just say Cash? Thank you. Cash. I would start Estepinian, but Cash. Hi, Ross. Sell Salah to Sterling Foden for a -4. Okay, I can then get Madders next week for Garnacho. He is benched this week, or I can wildcard now. I wouldn't wildcard. Yeah, if you want to sell Salah for a -4, go for it. Obviously, it has the potential to backfire. But if you are going to go for a 1-week punt, I guess this is, like, you need it to pay back immediately. I think I like Foden. Salah and Wissa or Foden and Maddison? Asks Omar. Foden and Maddison. Bench one out of Trippier, Udogi, and Estepinian. I would bench Estepinian. Could you suggest a replacement for Gabriel? I have Chilwell, Colwell, Estepinian, and Dan Burn. Could you suggest a replacement for Gabriel? Udogi. Got to be Udogi. Rotates really nicely with Estepinian as well. And I think we've committed to calling him Udogi, by the way. I think that's the commitment that we've made at this stage. Bench one of Estepinian, Udogi, Gvardiol, Watkins. I would bench Estepinian. Matoma and... Yeah, sorry, I missed that. Matoma and Rashford for Sterling and Maddison, 2-3. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that for free. What would you do on a wildcard this week? Wildcard, there you go. If one of Bruno and Rashford has to go, which one? Rashford. I prefer keeping Bruno and selling Rashford. If I were wildcarding this week, that would be the team. Alvarez or Jackson? Still Jackson for me. Who to bench, Estepinian or Rico Henry? Estepinian. Yeah, I would start Henry ahead of Estepinian this week. Bruno or Maddison? I have Sterling, Foden, and Burmo Saka. Maddison at the moment. Bruno in a few weeks, but Maddison for now. I love Bruno, and I think he's excellent, but I think if you don't already own Bruno, I think you've prioritised someone with better fixtures at the moment. If you don't captain Haaland, who would you captain? Probably Sterling, Maddison, or Foden. They've got the fixture, they've got the form, they've got a lot. I don't really see the issue is this week I don't see a standout captaincy option outside of Haaland. Probably Foden. If you have Foden, you can maybe back him. Ross, bench one of Estepinian or Akanji. I would bench Estepinian. Dear Ross, based on the predicted lineup, should I bench Gvardiol and play Estepinian? I don't know if that lineup's going to be correct or not. It depends how much you want to trust it. I would probably start Gvardiol, bench Estepinian, and just hope that if Estepinian doesn't start, then he at least doesn't come on the pitch. You'd have Flecken on a wild card. Yeah, I would. Yeah, Flecken would be on my wild card. Is Akanji fit? Yep, Akanji's fit as far as I know. What is the rumoured lineup for City? I've been informed that is the lineup. Thoughts on Gordon at 5.5? Yeah, he could be a good option, but not yet. Let's see. But yeah, if he carries on playing and playing well, Gordon could become an option for sure. Rashford, hold or to Sterling or Maddison? I'm going to be holding Rashford, I think. Højlund's available for Sunday, which means that even if Højlund doesn't play on Sunday, Højlund is now available. And if Højlund plays through the middle, of course, Rashford's on the left. So I just think it makes sense to keep him. By the way, if you are one of the 5,000 people watching that is not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. As I said, we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I've said that so many times recently, but it's good to remind people. And also, I will be doing a big giveaway over on Instagram once we hit 100,000 subscribers. So if you've not yet followed my Instagram, it will be pinned at the top of the chat, and it's also in the link in the description as well. Or just type in FPL__Raptor. Double underscore. Go follow me over on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe as well. And we'll get that giveaway done very soon. Oh, loads of people saying they've just subscribed. I appreciate that. If you are one of the people that's just said that, thank you very much. The wheel time. Chat, do we think it's time to bang out the wheel? I think it might be. One sec. Let me just get back off this. Chat, is it time to bang out the wheel? Maddison or Sterling and you doggy -4. Maddison. Estepinian or Baldock? I'd still probably go Estepinian. Would you take a hit for A, Matoma to Maddison, B, Erdegaard to Maddison, or C, Pedro to Alvarez? And if yes, then bench Matoma or Erdegaard. D, don't take a hit. Pedro to Alvarez is the only one I would want to take a hit for there, Andre. I think it's time for the Wahil. Smells like yellow says, Matoma to Foden. I have Maddison, and if I move to Foden, I would use my 2 free transfers for this week. Yeah, I like Matoma to Foden. I would do that. I would do that. Right, chat, it's time. I think we just go straight in with the big boy one. Do you know what? I think because it's such an important one, we maybe do first to 3. We give the will like plenty of time. Now, I've seen a lot of comments about the will getting stuff wrong last week. And yes, it did. But it was a one-off. Chat, you need to remember how accurate the Wheel has been across the last few months. Across the last season as well. You have to remember that. Just subscribed. Enjoy your content. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. Very much appreciated. Right. Add in Burmo. A few people want me to add in Burmo. The thing is, I've already got in Burmo. But I guess I could add in Burmo. Right, what we're going to do is first to 3. So the wheel has to spin on the player 3 times. Okay, and if it spins on the player 3 times, it means that is the best player to pick. Are we ready, chat? That's 1 for Sterling. We'll add a little counter. Can you see the counter? Yeah, the counters. You see where it says like a 1 next to their name. So Sterling's on 1. Got to land on it 3 times. Someone says I have all 4 of these. If you have all 4 of these, you are laughing. Counts. This is intense. This is the most important spin of the wheel ever. The wheel knows about Raheem the Dream. The wheel knows about Raheem the Dream. That is 2-2 between Raheem, Sterling, and Maddison. 2-2. It's not rigged. Why do people say it's rigged? 2-2. Maddison 2, Sterling 2. And Burmo and Foden on absolutely nothing at the moment. Okay. Maddison with 3. Sterling with 2. Foden and Burmo, they're not interested. It's not rigged. Listen, everyone, every week is like rigged. What do you mean I'm rigging it? I'm not even thinking of bringing in Maddison. I'm thinking of bringing in someone else. The wheel would win FPL. You've just given me... Should we next year make a team for the wheel? Chat, should we make a team for the wheel next year? And every week, the transfer is based on the wheel. That could be a genius series. The wheel to... We like that. Everyone's a big fan. Okay. I like it. Maybe we'll do that on next year's live streams. For what it's worth, at the moment, which complete transparency in mind, Sterling, Maddison, Foden for me. At the moment, if the deadline was now, which it's not, it's in an hour and a half, but if the deadline was now, I would be bringing in Sterling. Really good, Will Madrid. Chat, why are you mugging me off? So yeah, at the moment, I'm leaning towards Raz. Thoughts on starting Archer over Rashford? I wouldn't do that, no. Hi, mate. Bench one of Trippier, Colwell, Estepinian. I would bench Estepinian. Haaland triple captain. I think as far as single game weeks go, this is probably one of the better single game weeks to triple captain Haaland, yes. So I don't mind it. Lewis says, already brought in Maddison. Do I keep Gabriel on the bench and roll and have 2 free transfers? Or bring in a defender like Henry or Diaz? I would roll, because I assume... who are you playing instead of Gabriel? You missed out the key part of that question. But I think, considering you're probably not starting Gabriel anyway, depends how much it improves your starting 11, I guess is what I'm saying. Right, I'll end the poll, because it's not really changing much. About half of you have Maddison as your favourite option. Then just under a third of you are saying Sterling. And then about a fifth are saying Foden. So most people think that Maddison is the one. If you're going to go for one of these midfielders, it's Maddison. Estepinian or Diaby? I would start Diaby. Ross, who would you bench, Saliba or Estepinian? As you can see, I would bench Saliba and I would start Estepinian. You said Maddison in an earlier stream. Now you're on Sterling. I told you, I maintain Maddison is the better option if you're looking beyond game week 9 or beyond game week 8. But I am thinking more and more so that the game week 9 wildcard looks very, very good. And I think if you're pretty sure you want a wildcard in 9, the next 5 fixtures for Sterling are just too good. So at the moment, I'm back on Sterling, but I could quite easily go for Maddison before the deadline. I don't know. Højlund? Højlund could be a decent shout. He could be. Probably not now. Probably wait until after the international break, but Calvin Morris hat-trick today? Could be. Apologies. Could be, definitely. Bench Matoma or Watkins? Matoma. Will Alvarez start? Yeah, I'd expect so. 1 free transfer, Alvarez/Jackson or -4 Alvarez and Stee/Jack and Foden. When you're sending super chats, can you not use your own short form on players? I'm assuming this is Alvarez and Sterling/Jackson and Foden. I would prefer Jackson and Foden as a combo. Dazar says, or Dazar, have 2 Chelsea defenders in Estepinian, -4 to swap out a Chelsea defender. Why would you remove a Chelsea defender? I don't know why you would do that. I need to get rid of João Pedro, but I only have 0.5 in the bank. Was thinking of moving to Morris or sell Salah and free up some cash. You could move to Morris. He is on penalties and his minutes are good. I think I would sell Salah to free up the cash. I think Salah to Foden, Pedro to Jackson or something like that is probably a better set of transfers than going for Morris. In my opinion, anyway. Hi, Ross. Any latest news? I've just joined. No, I don't think so. I can show it again as well, just because it's the information that I've got. Apparently, this is the City lineup. But it's not like 100% confirmed. It's based on things that have been seen in training. So, God knows if it's actually the real lineup or not. But this is what I've been told. What are we subscribing to? I thought you weren't bothering with leaks anymore. I'm not. You would see that I haven't tweeted it, and I'm not putting it out because people on Twitter are just horrible for the most part, and they're not grateful at all. You get it right, no one says thank you. You get it wrong, I haven't even got it wrong as well, but you do it in a way that they're not quite happy with, and they'll just jump all over you. So yeah, I'm not ever tweeting team leaks again. But I'll share it on my deadline streams with you guys. If I get any information on the deadline stream, I'll share it with you, of course. Because I think this is a lovely community over on YouTube, and all of you guys are very, very kind, and I would like to help you out. As a thank you for watching my content, and as a thank you for subscribing to the channel, then I would love to help you out, but I'm not doing it on Twitter anymore. It's just a horrible place. Horrible place. Most people are nice, but there are some horrible people. Please check my previous super chats. You missed it. What? I understand there's... Okay. Let me try and find it first. I've just gone back through and I can't see anything. I can't see anything, unfortunately. But all I would say is using a super chat to tell me I've missed a super chat. I would just repeat what you asked rather than, because now that's just a wasted one, isn't it? Should I bench Watkins or Gusto or Estepinian? I would bench Estepinian out of those three. Does Brennan Johnson joining affect Maddison's minutes? No. That mouse scroll was so loud, felt dramatic. Was it loud? Can you hear me scrolling with my mouse? Oh dear. I didn't realize my mouse was that loud. Onana or Pope? Pope. Do you think Ansu Fati will be a good asset in the coming weeks? No, I think there'll just be too much rotation, especially with the European football. I think Brighton are just going to be rotating left, right, and centre. So no. Captain Sterling. There are worse captains, but I'm going to be captain in Haaland. Pedro to Wissa for free or Jackson for a -4? I'd go Jackson -4, I think is better long term. Struggling to sleep with my picks for game week 3. What do you mean, Sanj? You're struggling to sleep with your picks for game week 3. Do you mean game week 4? And if so, what are you struggling with? I don't know how to answer that. I have Estepinian, Trent, and Udogi with Saliba bench and 1 mil in the bank. Nice. Would you do anything? And who would you start? Transfer for who? Love your work. Thank you very much for the kind words. I would maybe sell Saliba for Chilwell. Saliba or Trent for Chilwell would be my transfer. On a wildcard, Ross, Foden, Rashford, and Burmo only one. Who's the rest of your midfield? I would have definitely Foden and Burmo. But if you had to pick one, I'd go maybe Burmo just for a safer pick. Foden for the upside and Burmo for the longer term consistency. Hi, Ross. If you were set up on a Game Week 9 wildcard and already had Sterling, who would you pick out of Foden/Maddison and why? Maybe Foden. Short-term punt. You can always move him on for someone else soon. And if you've already got Sterling in place, you're in a good position. So maybe Foden. Joshua says, this was it, my previous message. Cool. Thank you again for the super chat, and I'm sorry for missing your other one. Take a hit and sell Salah for Maddison/Sterling, or wait until next week. By the way, you're helping me win my friend's league. Thank you, GOAT. You're more than welcome. Brighton have not been good defensively, have they? Oh, sorry, it's not. Who are Liverpool? Oh, Liverpool playing Villa, aren't they? Villa, it's not a great fixture. I would sell Salah. Maddison Sterling's up to you, but wait, it's for a hit, isn't it? I wouldn't do it, Joshua. I wouldn't sell Salah for a hit. I'd keep Salah. If it was for free, I would tell you to do it, but not for a hit. I would keep Salah, especially if you're in a league with other people. I guarantee the other people in the league probably don't have Salah. So if Salah gets a penalty or if he gets a return and he's not looked terrible, then you'll be in a really strong position. So I would keep him. I have you Doggy, Chilwell, okay? Play Baldock or Estepinian. And I have 4.5 in the bank. Shall I sell João Pedro and Garnacho for Sterling and a 1 youth for a -4 hit? I prefer Alvarez and Sterling. So yeah, I would play Estepinian and I would go Alvarez and Sterling. Mark says, best nailed City defender. Diaz. Diaz is the most nailed. Although Walker looks like he's playing most minutes of them. Walker could be going under the radar a little bit. Hi, mate. Martinelli to Maddison for a -4. Is it worth it? Thank you. Martinelli to Maddison for a -4. No. Please describe why you're sitting Saliba. Do you mean why I'm benching Saliba? What does sitting Saliba mean? Is this is terminology I've not heard before. Because he's got a bad fixture. That's why I'm benching him, if that was the question. Darwin versus Jackson or both? I played the wild card. Definitely Jackson. Gabriel to Diaz or Rashford to Foden? Gabriel to Diaz feels like a better move. My bench at the moment is Estepinian, Henry, Alvarez, Areola, and Trippier. I was thinking of a bench boost. Big nay. That's a big yes, Mike. That's a huge yes. If that is your bench, that is a massive yes to a bench boost. I would definitely play the bench boost there. I can't work out why so many people are asking me whether I would bench Saliba or Estepinian. Chat, why do you think it's a silly question that people are asking me whether I would bench Saliba or Estepinian? I don't know if I should say silly question, but like there is a reason that no one should be asking me whether I'm benching Saliba or Estepinian. Okay, most people get it. It's on the screen, right? I've got Estepinian and Saliba, and I'm starting Estepinian. So to answer your question around whether I would bench Estepinian or Saliba, just look at the screen, and it's there. Raptor, who would be your wildcard team picks long term? This would be my wildcard draft if I was on a wildcard this week. This would be my wildcard draft. What if they were blind, Ross? I don't think everyone that's asking is blind, but you make a good point. If you are visually impaired, and do you know what? I shall do that for you. If anyone's watching this that is blind or visually impaired, my team is Pickford, Udogi, Estepinian, Chilwell, Rashford, Saka, Mbeumo, Martinelli, Fernandes, Haaland, Jackson. And then my subs are Turner, Saliba, Botman, and Mubama. That is a good point. Well made. Hopefully that helped. And I'm yet to make a transfer. And if you are blind or visually impaired, I am absolutely stunning. Like, imagine the most handsome man in the world. That's me. Okay? Just saying. Just saying, you know? What does false 9 mean? I'm new to football terms. So a traditional number 9 would play like as basically the furthest point forward in a team. So you have like 2 wingers, you have a midfield, and the number 9... Is my camera gone again? Oh, well, that doesn't help with my explanation. One sec. I'll explain a false 9 once you can see my face. Basically, it means you're playing as a striker, but you're playing a little bit deeper almost as a midfielder. So whilst you're through the middle and you're like linking up the play between the attackers, you are a little bit deeper than that. So you're playing more like a number 10 or like an attacking midfielder. Do you know what? Let me get a better definition than that. A centre forward who repeatedly moves towards the ball in deeper... But yeah, it's basically what I said. Okay, so it's a centre forward, but you're playing a little bit deeper than a natural number 9. Hence the false part of the false 9. What about if you're deaf? Then you can just look at the team. Chat, I can't... It's not making me think about all these things. I'm doing my best here. Dimitri says, is my camera back or do I need to reset it again? I'm back. Dimitri says, Wissa or Alvarez for João Pedro? Alvarez. Diaby or Rashford for Maddison? I would keep Diaby. Oh, I don't know. I would leave it. I would just do the Wissa or Alvarez in for João Pedro, and I would leave the other transfer. Good day from Adelaide, Australia. Big up to Australia. Love your weekly content. What are your thoughts on Gabriel/Rashford to you, Doggy/Sterling for -4? Thank you, mate. I don't like the -4 part. I would just, if it was my team, I would just do Gabriel to you, Doggy for free. I wouldn't take the -4 for Rashford to Sterling. But if you want to, then by all means, obviously go for it. Matoma to Sterling as a second free transfer or hold. I would do that for free, yeah. Bench, Rashford, Foden, Sterling, Alvarez, Jackson, Saka, or Mbeumo. Oh, God, that is horrific. It's got to be Rashford. If you're benching one of those, it has to be Rashford, I think. Sorry, so yeah, false 9. Rather than it playing as, like, let's say your wingers are here and your midfielders are here. Rather than your number 9 playing on, like, the last man playing on the centre-backs, they drop into the deeper roles. So Kai Havertz is a false 9, or Bobby Firmino plays the false 9 very well if you watched football a few years ago. Anyone that drops into that deeper role as a starting centre forward. Colwell or Estepinian to start? Colwell. Is this the final team, Ross? No, I've not made a transfer yet. Not made a transfer yet. Would you buy Julian Alvarez for Bruno Fernandes? You can't do that. Bruno's a... I don't get the question. Good evening, Raptor. Good evening, Mr. Coach. How are you? Mbeumo in for Rashford. No, I would just keep Rashford. Estepinian or Baldock? I would go Estepinian. Would you take a -8 for a new camera? No. I think you've got, with the underlying data for the old camera, I think you've got to keep the old camera for a bit. Only got one transfer. Pedro out for someone or roll. It depends how much money you have in the bank. If you have money in the bank, then I would take out João Pedro for Wissa, Alvarez, Jackson. But if you don't have any money in the bank, then maybe roll. No one seems to be mentioning Watkins this game week. Should he be sold? No, I wouldn't be selling Watkins. I'd be perfectly happy starting Watkins as well. What do you think about Ward-Prowse? What's his data been like in the opening couple of game weeks? Obviously, he didn't play in game week 1. What was... No, I don't like Ward-Prowse. Look, I know he's got 3 attacking returns, But his data was absolutely non-existent in the Chelsea game. We're looking at a 0.15 XGI. And then you've got in the Brighton game, yeah, he had a 0.9 expected goals, but he scored a tap-in from like a yard out. You remove, and I know you say you removed that tap-in. Of course, it was a goal. His data's just not there. Ward-Prowse just isn't an option for me. I don't mind Bowen, though. I do know someone that's brought in Bowen. I don't think I can say it before the deadline. I can tell you after the deadline that someone that you might be interested in has bought Bowen. I don't mind Bowen, but I'm not a big fan of Ward-Prowse myself. CLCC says, Haaland, Alvarez, Foden, triple up. Is it too aggressive on a wild card? No, I like it. Not too aggressive at all. I just wonder who you're losing to make that work. Like if you end up having to lose like a Sterling or a Maddison or an Mbeumo or a Jackson, I would maybe prefer some of those. I would definitely have Haaland and Foden. It's just about if you want Alvarez as well. Mason says, midfield is Foden, Rashford, Bruno, Sterling and Saka. Do I bring in Madders? And if so, who the hell do I get rid of? Been struggling all week. Honestly, you don't, mate. I just think you keep that midfield. But if you want to, it's Rashford. Rashford's the only one you can remove there for me. But I would just keep that midfield. Keep the midfield. Looks good. Start Estepinian or Gusto? Gusto. Hi, Rossi boy. I'm back. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, Posh. Joe says, start Kabore or Saliba. Thinking a punt on Luton's first home game. Love the content. Do you know what? I would start Kabore ahead of Saliba. He's actually been very, very attacking in the 2 games that we've seen of him. So I would start Kabore. Yeah, it's a home game. Probably a better fixture than Saliba. Saliba's attacking threat has been non-existent. Kabore's been very, very attacking. I certainly don't hate it. Oh, I've had a long week, chat. My back is killing me. My back's killing me. Rasmus Højlund. I like that. Rasmus Højlund. Oh, I can't wait to see Højlund and Amrabat in the starting 11. Man United fans that are watching. I'm a Manchester United fan, by the way. If you're new. Man United fans that are watching. Do you think we'll start Amrabat and Højlund this week? I think Amrabat start. No, apologies. I think Højlund will start, and I think Amrabat will be on the bench. I think it just might come a little bit too soon for Amrabat, but we'll see. Jackie Chan says, 2 free... Is that the Jackie Chan? 2 free transfers. Pedro and Matoma out to Wissa and Maddison. Apologies. Left with 0 afterwards, or just Pedro and Saka to Isak and Maddison. Or just Pedro to Alvarez and roll. I quite like Pedro to Alvarez and roll. But I do also like the Pedro and Matoma to Wissa and Maddison. Yeah, I think probably Pedro to Alvarez and then Pedro to Matoma to Wissa and Maddison would be the order that I would go in. Alexander says, take a -4 and sell Salah to hit your exact wildcard team. Would mean selling Salah for Maddison, Eze for Sterling, and João Pedro for Jackson. You could do. I don't hate it. I mean, all of those moves make sense on paper, but you are also selling 3 penalty takers. Eze, João Pedro, and Salah are all penalty takers, so... Predict the Manchester United defence. The Manchester United defence is... it'll be Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez, and Dalot. People low on available funds. Does Sterling win out? Yeah, price maybe should be more important. I was listening to Praz on not Black Box, on the FPL Wire, and he was saying that he thinks that price should be taken into account. Because I think he was saying like maybe going for Sterling instead of Maddison means that you can get Trippier a little bit easier in Game Week 5, or that you might be able to get to Watkins or Jesus easier from Jackson. Like, whilst money isn't as important at the moment because a lot of us have the players and teams that we want, it doesn't mean that money's never going to be useful for you. So yeah, maybe if you are going between the two, like having the extra money could be useful. By the way, guys, as I said, if you're one of the 5,000 people watching that has not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. We are on a milestone hunt at the moment. And also, my Instagram is pinned at the top of the chat, and it's also in the description as well. We are going to do a big giveaway on Instagram once I hit 100,000. So as soon as I hit 100,000 on YouTube, in the following videos, I will explain what the giveaway is and how to enter. But you do need to be following me on Instagram to be entered into the giveaway. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow on Instagram, and you'll be in a really good chance. I don't actually have many followers on Instagram, very briefly, just to show you, because you're going to have a very decent chance of winning. I've only got 9,000 followers, and I'm going to be giving away stuff to 5 different people, so you've actually got a decent chance of winning the giveaway. These were the pictures from Chunks, by the way, if you missed them. Look at these. Cracking pictures. So yeah, go follow me on over Instagram, and I'll be announcing that very soon. Is Akanji starting? Yeah, I think Akanji will be starting. Ross Dowsett. Yes, that's my name. What about it? Why are you calling out my full name? Read the super chats. Fine. I've only not answered 2 of them. Pedro to Wissa / Antonio / Roll might force a game week 5 wildcard. I would just do Pedro to Wissa, in which case it won't. It won't cause a game week 5. Antonio might force you a little bit because of the fixtures. But yeah, Pedro to Wissa looks good to me. Rashford and João Pedro out for Jackson / Sterling or Alvarez / Maddison. I would say... Oh, that's tough. I'd probably go Jackson and Sterling. Evans says 2 free transfers, Rashford to Raheem, or change one of Botman, Pickford, Mubama. Don't feel the need to do anything, but 2 frees, can't burn. Big up, bro. I'd probably do the Rashford to Raheem move. I wouldn't sell Botman, and I think goalkeeper transfers are overrated. And Mubama, you just don't need most weeks. So I think the sensible transfer there is probably Rashford to Raheem. Prince Palmer TV says thoughts on how you think Gibbs White will do this week, because I've him stuck in my team for this week. Could do well against Chelsea. Got an assist against Manchester United. Or was it 2 assists against Manchester United? You never know. I think there are definitely better options this week, but he looks very good again. Once again, Gibbs White had a really good end to the season. He looks good again this season. You have got exactly 1 hour until the deadline. Make sure that you start thinking about what transfers you want to make. What are your plans? Maddison? Martinelli out for either Maddison or Sterling. Start Eze or Watkins. Poll / Will. Yeah, I can do that for you. For what it's worth, I think this is a 50-50 decision. And also for what it's worth, I would start Eze, just because I think Eze has the home fixture, Eze has the penalties, and Eze has the set pieces. So when I don't think there's much to separate them with respect, I think Wolves and Liverpool are both poor defensively. I think they're both very talismanic. I just think Eze's got so many more routes to points. And he gets the extra point for a clean sheet, and he gets the extra point for a goal. So I would go Eze. This is just going to be a single spin. Who should you start out of Eze and Watkins? Because there's quite a few people with this decision. There you go. The Will agrees with me. Starts Eze ahead of Watkins. Alex A says Edison / Henry or Flecken / Diaz. Edison and Henry. It's just better for minutes. Just better for minutes. Joshua says, Sterling in for Rashford or Diaz in for Estepinian as 2 free transfers. Sterling in for Rashford or Diaz in for Estepinian? Oh, that's a tough one. Probably Diaz in for Estepinian. Revolution Vintage says, I have Mbeumo, Rashford, Bruno, Saka and Foden. Do I roll or try to get Sterling in? I think that's a very comfortable roll myself. You can't own everyone. And I know everyone, like myself included, I would love to own these 3 players this week. I would absolutely love to. But you can't. And even if you do, you then lose Martinelli, Rashford, Saka or Bruno. So like you just have to accept that you're not going to have all the best players every single week. And I think in your case, it looks like a fairly comfortable roll for me. Chris says, Gabriel to Saliba and -4 for Martinelli to Maddison. I wouldn't get in Saliba for Gabriel. Saliba would be way down on my list of defenders. If you're going to sell Gabriel, I think Henry, Udogi, Colwill, Anderson, all of those players, Botman, Cher, Trippier, they'd all be ahead of Saliba for me. I wouldn't be bringing in an Arsenal defender now. Bring Udogi for Baldock to cover Guardiola benching or have 2 free transfers for after the international break. I would just roll with the 2 free transfers and hope that either Baldock starts if Guardiola misses out, or that the rumours are wrong and that in fact Guardiola does start, because we don't know for 100% that Guardiola was benched. It's just what we've heard. Apparently Polinia is looking to stay at Fulham. The Bayern move is off. Interesting. That makes Fulham definitely a better defence, but they were still pretty poor last season, even with him in the team. So I don't think it suddenly makes them a brilliant defence. B says, sell Rashford to Maddison and João Pedro to Alvarez. Yeah, I don't mind that, B. I don't mind that at all. George says, wildcard. Foden or Mbeumo for the final spot. It depends what sort of manager you are. Long-term Mbeumo, short-term Foden. Matoma for João Pedro. I can swap out João Pedro out next game with 2 free transfers. Oh, for James Ward-Prowse, sorry. Matoma for James Ward-Prowse. I think there are better moves. Personally, for me. I have Chilwell, Gusto, Cash, Lewis, and Kabore in defence. The Chelsea boys are in, but I don't know who to pick for my 3rd defensive spot. Not Rico Lewis. I'd go Kabore myself. Start a Wanyi or Gusto and Chilwell. Have all 3. I would start Gusto and Chilwell, I think. I know Awanyi's been good, but I would back the clean sheet. Is Morris a decent option, transferring for João Pedro? He's a decent option, but he's not going to... I don't think from what I've seen he's going to be a world beater. He is on penalties, and his minutes are good. And if Luton score, he's going to be involved. But I don't see him being like a really good option. I think it's a transfer that probably you'll end up regretting. Would you sell Rashford or Pickford this week? I'd rather sell Rashford because I think attacking transfers have higher upside than goalkeeper transfers. Jay says, hey mate, need to drop one from Chilwell, Udogi, Gvardiol and Estepinian. Currently got Estepinian on the bench, but struggling to make a call. Again, just because there are quite literally hundreds of people asking the question, the rumour going around, I've been told, but I don't really want to get overly involved in early team news, but I feel bad, that apparently this is the team. I'm not telling you how much I think you should trust it, because it's very, very early and things could change. But it might make me lean, if you've got a real benching headache, to bench Gvardiol. And I certainly wouldn't be bringing him in this week. This would be enough for me to put me off. I did say, and I've been saying this for 2 or 3 weeks now, Diaz is a better option than Gvardiol because he's more nailed. But of course, he is more expensive. So I understand why you probably go for a Gvardiol or a Kanji or Ake. But Diaz is the one for minutes. Diaz will always be the one for minutes. Nature and Valley says, please make the Maddison Sterling decision quick before the servers start. I need help. Yeah, I will. I'll make it at 6 p.m. I'll make my decision at 6 p.m. so that we've got plenty of time. Erdegaard to Sterling / Foden. Have Maddison. 1 free transfer. Gabriel to Erdegaard / Henry. What is happening? I don't understand the question. But yes, I would choose Udogie ahead of Henry, and I like Sterling instead of Foden, if that helps you at all. Henry or Colwill already have Flecken, Chilwell, and Burmo and Raheem. I prefer Henry to Colwill. You missed my super chat. Let me find it. I don't want to be doing that. Didn't do that on purpose. I cannot see. Oh, there you go. One free transfer. Jota. One free transfer. Jota to Sterling / Foden or roll. I'd probably do Jota to Sterling. Rice or noodles when you have Chinese? I have 3 different. I either go for a special fried rice, I go for Singapore rice noodles, or I go for chow mein. I think my go-to would be special fried rice. However, I do really... if you've not had Singapore rice noodles and you don't mind a little bit of spice, they slap. They really do slap. Start one of March, Archer, and Estepinian. I would start Solly March. I am the true Eggman. You've been spamming the same message in the chat for a long time, and you're calling me by the wrong name. My name isn't Ryan, which is why I'm not answering. Can't even get my name right. Can't even get my name right. Rude. Bowen or Eze? Eze long-term, Bowen for this week. If it's who to start, then Bowen. If it's who to bring in, probably Eze. Why is Walker not great? Walker just is terrible for bonus points, and he's also got no attacking threat. I'm sure he'll get bonus points and a goal now, but he doesn't tend to get forward enough. His data's terrible. Sorry, I'm just stretching my back. Give me a second. Pain. I could click my back, but you could probably actually hear that on the mic. I don't know if you could. Apologies if you could hear that, but that was needed. Max has been a member for... Max, you've been a member for 23 months. One more month, and it's been a year since you joined the channel. Thank you very much. By the way, massive thank you to all of the members that continue to support the channel. I really do appreciate you. And I'm sorry if I don't always answer your messages in the stream. It just gets so busy at the moment. But just know that I do appreciate you. Max says, Estepinian or Udogie, which to play? Definitely Udogie. And would the other one be first or second bench to Pedro? I would have Udogie starting, João Pedro first bench, and Estepinian second bench. Did I not? I said 2 years, didn't I? Oh, I meant... Listen, chat. I obviously meant 2 years. Almost 2 years. Why are you... Listen, chat. Why are you telling me 24 months is 2 years like I didn't know that? Behave yourselves. It's been a... Listen, it's been a long week. Don't stop. Listen, I'll block each of you individually. Want a mass apology. Can you explain how bonus points calculated? If you go on to the... I'll show you here. Help. Rules. Scoring. Here you go. I mean, it goes on a little bit beyond that, but You can get a general gist from... Oh, sorry. God, my internet is lagging out. Wait, if I just do that, you can probably get most of them. There you go. It might be a bit small. You lot are cracking me up. You lot are cracking me up. Tempted to start Bulldog over Estepinian. What are your comments? I prefer starting Estepinian. Apparently, Origi to Forest. Is that true? I can't believe Brentford signed Neil Mopay, by the way. Dear Lord, what a weird transfer that is. Sorry, I'm just trying to find... Yeah, Divock Origi to Nottingham Forest. Why did Nottingham Forest do all of their business so late? Yeah, Divock Origi to Nottingham Forest. He's undergoing a secret medical test. It's a loan deal with the option to buy. Wow, Origi. That's a decent transfer, you know. Given the team leak, wouldn't Foden be the first option? No, because you know Foden. I know Foden's going to start. I wouldn't have ever predicted Foden to be benched against Fulham. I'm just thinking after the international break, once the UCL kicks in, once Doku is fully integrated, once Bernardo Silva's back and fully fit, which I know he has been now, but he obviously had his illness that might have affected him. I just think, and Nunez potentially signing. I just think from game week 5 onwards is when the real issue for Foden begins. The issue with Foden was never Fulham. The issue with Foden was longer term. Erdegaard to Sterling or Foden, or Gabriel to you, Doggy Henry. Only one free transfer or roll. Thanks, man. I think the most sensible move, Emmanuel, is Gabriel to you, Doggy. But Erdegaard to Sterling / Foden feels like it has higher upside. But I think Arsenal could do well against us. So I would probably say that the sensible one is get rid of Gabriel and bring in you, Doggy or Henry. I would go you, Doggy. Tempted to start Archer over Saka versus United. I hate that myself. But I understand why you would want to, but that's not for me. I've done Martinelli to Maddison, Rashford to Sterling for my other free transfer. I don't mind that, Aaron, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to keep Rashford. I think Rashford is as good an option as the other three, especially when he's playing on the left. Estepinian to Walker, what do you think? Yes, fine. Walker's just not got much about him. He's just not got much bonus point potential. He's not got much attacking threat. He's okay. I don't mind it. Martinelli out and Burmo or Maddison. Game week 9 wildcard plan. If it's game week 9 wildcard plan, maybe Burmo for now. But if you're not going to play a wildcard in 9, I think Maddison's really good longer term. Why is Raptor not gurring and meowing today? That's post-deadline stuff. We don't do that pre-deadline. And Burmo or Sterling? Sterling. Rashford or Eze to Sterling. Wolves a good fixture. Yeah, like this week I prefer Eze to Rashford, but longer term I prefer Rashford. You've got to think, like, what are you thinking about when you're making these transfers? Is it in your head you're saying Eze's got a good fixture this week, so I'd rather sell Rashford? In my head, I'm thinking over the next 5 weeks, I'd rather Rashford to Eze, so I'll sell Eze, which is similar with Martinelli. Like this week only, I prefer Martinelli to Rashford. So if I wanted one player for this week, it would be Martinelli, not Rashford. But over the next 5, I prefer Rashford to Martinelli. So even though the fixture for this week isn't as good for Rashford, I still think I would prefer to keep him and sell Martinelli, if that makes sense. Ross, is Akanji fit? Yep, Akanji's fit as far as I'm aware. Is top 10k a good rank with no chips played? Rank doesn't really matter, but yeah, top 10k is obviously ridiculously good at this stage. But you have one bad week and you could be back down at 1 million. It's so tightly grouped. Look at the time. 5:46. Why am I looking at the time? You've got 45 minutes, loads of time. Why are you copying my team? I don't even know. I've never even seen your team. Is this the finalised team? No, I'm yet to make my transfers. West Ham team leak, Ross. Who do you want to know? Who do you want to know? Start Estepinian or Udogi. Definitely Udogi. I know Estepinian's great, but like people are asking me, like, yeah, like Udogi against Burnley away or Estepinian against Newcastle. Udogi's just as attacking and a much better fixture. Same like Gusto versus Estepinian. Obviously Gusto. You've got to back the fixture there. You know? Are you and FPL Andy in cahoots? You have the same team. It's not exactly the same. I think the starting 11 is the same, but we've got different bench players and stuff. I know. Obviously, that's not on purpose. Like we both stream at the same times. We both make last-minute decisions on the streams. For what it's worth, I started the season with João Pedro. I think he started the season with Watkins. So we're not copying each other by any means. I think it's just we've got very similar information and very similar opinions to a lot of stuff. Which City defenders will start? I think it's Ake, Akanji, Diaz, and Walker. Edoc21 says Rashford to Maddison to free up funds for Trippier game week 5, or Eze to Maddison and solve the Trippier issue after the international break. Maybe Rashly to Maddison if it sets you up long term as well, because I do like Eze. I think Eze's fine for the next few weeks. Yeah, maybe the Rashford move sets you up a little bit better longer term. Yeah, I don't mind that. Colwell or Estepinian? I'd start Colwell. Who is the best forward to have? I still think it's Jackson after Haaland, for now, at least. Watkins longer term, but for now, it's got to be Jackson. Still like Alvarez as well. I do still like Alvarez. Who is the best £7 million forward? Yeah, it probably is Alvarez at that stage then, for now. For the late joiners, what's your summary this week? What am I doing with my team, are you asking? It's Martinelli to... I've probably ruled out Foden just because he's too much of a minutes risk for me. So it's Martinelli to one of Maddison or Sterling. And I need to decide that in the next 20 minutes or so. 18 months wrap tier 1, bruv. Chat, we've got a member that's been here for 18 months. That's half a year. Listen, chat, I'm tired. It's been a long week. Already have Jackson/Chilwell. Would you bring in Sterling or hedge your bets and go with Mbeumo and Maddison? Any plans for a wildcard? Wildcard game week 9 is the plan. I wouldn't worry about hedging your bets. I would just go for the player that you think is the best. So if you think Sterling's the best option, then go for Sterling. What about a Wonyi really hot streak? Yeah, I like a Wonyi, but my issue with a Wonyi is the fixtures. The fixtures at the moment just aren't great. Like, what are they? He's got Chelsea, City in the next 3. Brentford and Burnley at home aren't terrible fixtures. I mean, as a group, they're not terrible. But I just think for a Wonyi, you'd be much better off bringing him in here for this spell here and just losing these 2 fixtures. So yeah, I don't mind a Wonyi, but I just think there are better times to probably bring him in. But he scored 7 games in a row. He scored against Arsenal. He scored against Manchester United. So like he's shown he can do it against tough opposition. But I just always think fixtures are king. You target the fixtures breed form, and more often than not, you'll do better if you pick the players with the better fixtures. Bulldog or Estepinian? I would start Estepinian there, I think. I would start Estepinian. Akanji or Gusto? Gusto. Just a bit more attacking threat. Best wildcard defense? I told you, I think my wildcard would be something along the lines of that. Chilwell, Udogie, Henry. Estepinian is give or take, and then a Newcastle defender. I think I would definitely have Newcastle defender, Chilwell, Udogie, Henry, and then that final spot is really up to you. I don't think you need to keep Estepinian by any means. Pinnock or Udogie? Udogie for me. Rasmus Højlund, not yet, but soon. Let's see if he plays against Arsenal, and let's see how he looks. I've got my eye on him though for sure. Start Henry or Estepinian? Henry, definitely. Please answer João Pedro questions. What about João Pedro? I think you should sell him. I think you should sell him. I thought my volume was off. No, I just stopped talking for like 10 seconds. I was just checking something. Sorry. Anyone that's spreading fake stuff in the chat just gets an immediate ban, by the way. So be careful. If you want to, go for it, but you will get banned. Because it just stresses people out in the chat if you're spreading fake info. Diaz or Udogie free transfer? Udogie just. You missed my super chat. Sorry, let me go back and get the super chats. Adrian says, Estepinian or Kabore to start. I would go Estepinian on that occasion. Who should I sell between Ødegaard and Rashford? I would rather sell Ødegaard and keep Rashford. Martinelli to Maddison, Sterling and Baldock. Sorry, Martinelli to Maddison / Sterling and Baldock to Henry / Udogie, or Martinelli to Maddison / Sterling. It depends on the rest of your team, to be honest. Either or. At the moment, I would say Martinelli to Sterling and Baldock to Udogie. João Pedro to Wissa or Diaby to Sterling? João Pedro to Wissa or Diaby to Sterling? João Pedro to Wissa. I'm from Singapore, but no idea what Singapore noodles are. Oh, they're called Singapore noodles in the UK. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not from Singapore. We do weird stuff like that and just call stuff by weird names. God knows. Would you start Bruno or Nketiah? Bruno. Would you buy Sharda for Bailey? I do like Sharda, but they've just signed Mopay, so maybe they're trying to do something slightly different with their front line. Don't actually know. You've got just over half an hour till the deadline. Again, can I just please ask you, it'll be the final time I ask in today's stream. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, because as soon as we hit 100,000, we're doing a big giveaway over on Instagram. And if you've not yet followed the Instagram, it is linked at the top of the chat. Do you know what I can also do? I can copy paste it and spam it in the chat as well. Here you go, chat. We're going to do a big giveaway on Instagram once we hit 100,000, so go follow that there. You've been subscribed since 1998. I was only born in 1997. Chat, which year were you born? Let me know what year you were born in, if you feel comfortable, of course. I was born in 1997. Oh, lots of people born in the 2000s. You're making me feel old. God, you're making me feel so old. Oh, there's quite a few other people in 1997. Nice. Yeah, chat, 1997. 1997 was actually only 6 years ago. Like, if you do the maths, it's only 6 years ago. Missed my super chat. That seems to be a common theme today. I'm clearly not doing very well, am I? I'm sorry. Axel says, who to bench? Saka / Mbermo / Sterling / Foden / Maddison. None of those. You can't bench any of those. But if you really have to, it's Saka. Archie says, do you think Wissa is being overlooked, Wissa or Diaby? I prefer Diaby longer term as an option, but starting this week, I'd start Wissa. Oh, apologies. Oh, sorry for yawning, chat. I'm very tired. Any last minute news? No, not yet. Well, nothing. I mean, we've got a City line. I can show you that again. Again, please. I'm not saying this is definitely right. I'm just sharing what I have with you. That apparently this isn't a predicted lineup, and this is actually more of a leaked lineup. I think that's the only news we've had, really. Outside of that, I don't think there's any updated info. First start for Doku. Can you imagine if Doku gets an attacking return? All of a sudden, he's going to be in very high demand. Front three of Haaland, Darwin, and Jackson, or a five-man midfield of Sterling, Saka, Bruno, Rashford, and Maddison. The five-man midfield sounds perfect. Five-man midfield sounds perfect. Jonathan says, I have 2 free transfers. Watkins to Jackson, or Matoma and Saliba to Maddison and Udogie. P.S. My girlfriend loves your humour. Tell your girlfriend thank you very much, Jonathan. I appreciate that. And thank you for watching my streams together, I assume, which is very sweet. You've got 2 free transfers. Watkins to Jackson, or Matoma and Saliba to Maddison and Udogie. I am comfortably saying the latter. I think Watkins is fine to keep, and I like the idea of Maddison and Udogie. So I would go for the latter with your 2 free transfers. Connor says, got 2 free transfers. Rashford to Maddison. Nice. Then reverse it in game week 6. Not so sure about that. Wildcard in game week 8. Got Saka, Bruno, Foden, and Mbermo. I think if you're wildcarding in game week 8, you go for Sterling, not Maddison. And you don't do this hokey-cokey either. Like, if you do bring in Maddison, you keep Maddison, you don't bring Rashford back in. I don't like the idea of Rashford to Maddison to Rashford. I feel like that's a waste of transfers. So that's my opinion on that. Exactly half an hour until the deadline. 6:30. It is 6:30, isn't it? Not had a brain fart. It's not actually 6 p.m. Wouldn't be surprised with me this week. No, you got 30 minutes till the deadline. 6 p.m. Rossi boy. Why is everyone saying it's 6 p.m. to me? Is this when I told you that I would make my transfer? I think it was, wasn't it? I think I did tell you I would be making my transfer. Would you start Saliba or Cash? Thanks. Probably Cash for the attacking threat. I'd be surprised if Arsenal or Liverpool keep a clean sheet. When are you going to make the transfer? Shall I make it now? I think I've got an idea of what I want to do. You're captaining Maddison. Brave. Brave. I don't hate it, but it's very brave. Callum Hudson-Odoi to Forest. There are no way that Forest are signing this many people again. I haven't seen anything like that. Johnny Evans has signed a new short-term deal at Manchester United. We just signed Johnny Evans. Woo! Nice. Sell Foden for Sterling on a free. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. I wouldn't be selling Foden in a million years. The site is kind of crashing. Ain't no way. Not this early. What's your views on Luis Diaz, Ross? I just think there are so many good midfielders with better minutes and better fixtures that I'm just not that interested. Would you buy Foden, mate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Let's see how well you know me, chat. Who do you think I'm buying? Sterling, Maddison, Foden. Chat, let's see how well you know me. Who do you think I'm buying? Bowen. Let's just say Bowen. Can you imagine me just randomly just duping you all and saying, haha, I'm not getting any of them, I'm getting Bowen. The overwhelming majority of the chat think I'm getting Maddison. And then about most other people think it's Foden. Okay, so oh, the camera's gone. Okay, I'll make the transfer once the camera's back. Yes, just my camera just went. God, everyone thinks Maddison and Foden. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's another big goal. Gotta be Sterling for the fixtures. 100% Sterling. Camera is rigged to fail. Not that trick again. What trick? I'm coming back. I'm making my transfer in about 2 minutes once my camera decides that it wants to work. Because at the moment, it's deciding it's not wanting to work. Ask the Will first. We've already asked the Will. The Will suggested that I buy Maddison. Dinopoulos says, hi Ross, loving the stream. Flecken or Pickford? Flecken. Steve, super chat, says, have a pint, Ross. Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. My midfield is Bowen, Sterling, Maddison, Foden, and Mbeumo. Yet still I worry. Cheers, dude. Oh my lord, that is the perfect midfield. Imagine, chat, imagine having a midfield of Bowen, Sterling, Maddison, Foden, and Mbeumo. That is outrageous. That is an outrageous midfield. Do you know what I noticed? As soon as my face disappeared, the amount of people watching the stream went up by over 500. Chat, is it my face that's putting people off watching more of the streams? Is it? Maybe I won't show my face in the future if that's the case. You could have told me. Could have told me it's my face. I'd be on like 300,000 subscribers by now if you'd have told me it's my face that's putting people off. How rude of you to not tell me. Edison in goal or Areola if I have Ruben Diaz in defence? I still think you back Edison. Back the double clean sheet. Play Archer or João Pedro or take a -4 to get rid of João Pedro for Wissa. I'd play Archer this week, you know. Screw it. Play Archer. What do we think, chat? He's teasing us. What do you mean I'm teasing you? I'm just saying what do you think of that transfer? Foden's clear. L. No bald man. Why are you all being rude? I thought we'd all be on board with this. On board. I thought we'd be on board with this. Did you get it? Bored? L? What? No, I said we're saying L. I say we say W. W in the chat. Lol, you're washed, mate. Too many Chelsea players. Jack, this is so rude. There you go. You wanted the transfer. You can have the transfer. Enjoy. Listen. Is what it is, isn't it? Is what it is. I don't really like the colour scheme of my team, though. I will be honest. I need to switch these colours around quickly, chat. It's not making me happy. Stop commenting an L in the chat. What do we mean? L. I need to go there. No, I need to go there. I need to go there. No. I want to go there, and then I need to go there. I want to go there. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And then Chilwell can come into here. Just sorting out the colour scheme of the team, you know? I think like that looks a little bit... Does that look a bit better? That looks a little bit better. Or do I have all of the Chelsea players on one side? Do you know what? That's going to just have to do for now. I like to get it aesthetically pleasing, but it's difficult with my current setup, isn't it? I thought it was just me that did this. No, listen, you got to make your team look aesthetically pleasing. Let me just make sure I've got a screenshot of my team. No harm in being bald like us, Ross. Grass doesn't grow on a busy road. It's true. It's true. I appreciate that, Steve. Baldies stick together, you know? Beto is a differential. What are your thoughts? Not yet. Could be, though. There we go. So just to recap why I chose Sterling. It's because I think I want a wild card in game week 9. And again, if I just go back, I will get to the super chats in 2 seconds. We've got 20 minutes until the deadline. If we look at the fixtures, Chelsea's fixtures up until game week 9 is here. Sorry for the loud engine, by the way. There's like lorries go past and stuff. So Forest, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, Burnley, right? These are the fixtures you get with Sterling. And then you wild card in game week 9. Right? So when we come to here, I've got triple Chelsea at the moment, right? I've got Chilwell, Jackson, Sterling. In game week 9, sorry, here. In game week 9, when these fixtures start, remove my triple Chelsea. It's nice and simple. Maddison still has decent fixtures up until game week 9, but he's got Burnley and Sheffield United is great. Then he's got Arsenal and Liverpool. Then he's got Luton. Luton is great. Remember, though, I'm wildcarding in game week 9. So I can get Maddison in for the Luton game. right? Because I'll have a transfer to use of some kind. So really what I'm saying is for these 4 fixtures, I just don't think that Maddison will outscore Sterling based on the fixtures at least. And then in my Game Week 9 wildcard, I can get Maddison in for this little run here, which isn't too bad. So I just think that where I'm planning to play my wildcard, which is Game Week 9 for this fixture swing, I think that Sterling is the better option. Foden's fixtures are actually really nice, but we know that Man City have Champions League coming up. So around is it in between Game Week 5 and Game Week 6? I think it's this week here. In between Game Week 5 and Game Week 6, we have the start of Champions League football. And I also think that, obviously, Arsenal in Game Week 8, they have quite a few away games as well. I just think that Sterling, for me, based on the Game Week 9 wildcard, was the one I felt was the sensible one to go for. So I hope that makes sense. But by all means, make your own decisions. Are you going to use the second transfer, Ross? No, I'm not. I'm going to roll and have 2 free transfers, I think. I'm happy with my midfield. I really am. If I were to make another transfer, my vice captain, I need to sort that out. If I were to make another transfer, it would be Rashford to Foden, probably. Chat, do you think I should do Rashford to Foden? Rashford to Foden, anyone? Can anyone tempt me with my free transfer to do Rashford to Foden? So I'm taking a screenshot of my team. 2 seconds. Shall I run a poll? Let's run a poll. Should I do Rashford to Foden for free? I do love Foden. This is true. Everyone knows how much I love Foden. I do love Foden. Let's let the chat decide. Do you think it's worth keeping Martinelli? United look shaky and have a bad record at the Emirates, and he plays better with Jesus and Everton in 5. Yeah, I don't mind keeping Martinelli at all. I would not be surprised at all to see Martinelli outscore Sterling this week. It would be classic FPL as well. Chat, you just want me to do bad things to my team. Why is everyone saying yes? I'm not sure about this. I think you're trying to sabotage my team. Akshay says, Martinelli to Maddison / Sterling or bench Martinelli and play 4 at the back and Estepinian rolling the transfer. I think Martinelli / yeah. I think Martinelli to Maddison or Sterling I would do. Sweet Caliber says, you doggy over Estepinian, yes. Who would you bench from Eze, Foden, Martinelli, Bruno and Saka? I would bench Martinelli. Alan says, Watkins to Jackson for Wissa. I've just lost that. Watkins to Jackson or Wissa for a -4. No, I would keep Watkins. Thoughts on a late wildcard game week 16 to 19 over a wildcard game week 8 to 10? Game week 19 will be the best time to wildcard this season, probably. But I think I want to play mine early in game week 9. Raptor Bruv, which 2 to bring in out of Maddison, Sterling and Mbeumo, wildcarding in game week 8 or 9? I think if you're wildcarding in 8 or 9, Sterling and Mbeumo. If you do Rashford to Foden, I'll do the same. Let's go. It's tempting, isn't it? You missed my super chat. I think I answered that now, Sweet Caliber. I would start you doggy and I would bench Martinelli. Edoc says Turner or Onana this week, Ross. I would start Onana. You have got 15 minutes till the deadline. I have heard, rumours are, word on the street is that if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, then you are guaranteed a green arrow. Okay? That's just what I've heard. Rumour has it, if you subscribe, you get a green arrow. Now, I wouldn't want to risk that, so I would just subscribe. You know? Why not Saka to Foden? Could do. What are all these loud noises outside my window? That's what I want to know. What's going on out there? It's a racket. Keeping Pickford. Yes, at the moment. I'm sorry if you can hear that through the mic. You might not be able to hear that, but if you can, I'm sorry. I'm going to mute myself for a Whoa, you can't hear it. Fantastic. Watkins or Eze? I think I said I would just about start Eze. You don't hear anything. Fantastic. Perfect. This microphone must be good then. Bowen or Ward-Prowse? I prefer Bowen to Ward-Prowse. Cash or Henry? Definitely Henry. Definitely Henry. Baldock or Saliba? I'd maybe take a risk on Baldock, you know? Maybe take a risk on Baldock. Are you using both free transfers this week? No, I've just used the one, and I'm going to roll the second one, I think. I'm going to roll the second one. Dusk says, hey, Ross, I've got Maddison, Sterling, Foden, Saka, Eze, Jackson, Haaland, and Wissa. Who would you bench? I'm thinking Eze, but Saka could easily blank. I would be tempted to bench Saka. Oh, maybe I would be. Yeah, do you know, it is between Saka and Eze. But the issue is Saka and Eze are both on pens. Maybe Wissa. I know he's got the better fixture. Oh, that is a tricky one, isn't it? Yeah, I would probably bench Eze. But Saka, like you say, Saka's got the trickier fixture, hasn't he? Estepinian or Gibbs White to start? Estepinian. Keep or sell Richarlison with one free transfer? I would sell Richarlison for Maddison. It's worth the switch for me. Richarlison doesn't look at it. There are rumours that he might not even be starting. I would switch Richarlison out. Botman for you, doggy. No, I would keep Botman and I would keep you. I don't know which way you're asking there, but I would keep whoever you've got. That's not a move I would make. Alex says, already transferred Martinelli to Maddison. Nice. Have Foden, Saka, Bruno, and Rashford. Should I do Rashford to Sterling? Have another free transfer? I've made the decision not to sell Marcus Rashford. So I'm going to say no. But as we discussed throughout the week, I don't have an issue with you selling Marcus Rashford. It's just not for me. I just think there are too many things that can go wrong with that. I really like Rashi back on the left as well. And Højlund is back and is fit and available as well now. So I think Rashford could be a good option over the coming weeks. Will you not use your other free transfer for Estepinian? His run of fixtures aren't too good. They're not fantastic, but no, I don't really plan on using it now. I think he could still do something against Newcastle, and I'd rather have a second free transfer after the international break. Alf Wildcard says, -4 for Onana to Edison. -4 for Onana to Edison. No. Would you bench Martinelli, Jackson, or Matoma? I would bench Matoma. Michael says, pick 2 to start. Matoma, Pinnock, and Estepinian. I would pick Matoma and Pinnock there, and I would bench Estepinian. Do Rashford to Foden so that we can have the same team. Or is that all that's the difference? And could do. Could do. Archie says, Matoma to Sterling for a -4. Is that good or bad? I would say that is... I wouldn't do it myself. Not bad, but I wouldn't do it myself. Bushman says, sell Gusto, Jackson, or Chilwell for Sterling, or get Maddison. I would just get Maddison. I think the 3 that you've got, Gusto, Jackson, and Chilwell are great. If you can't get Sterling because you're blocked, you're blocked. Just go for Maddison instead. I can't see your super chat, Jethro. I've just seen that you super chatted again saying that I missed your super chat, but just I can't see the original one. I've just looked back through. Oh, I see it. Sorry, I see it. Would you still start Gvardiol over Estepinian? Also, should I use my second transfer for Watkins to Jackson? I wouldn't do Watkins to Jackson, Jethro, but I would probably still start Gvardiol ahead of Estepinian and just hope that he either doesn't come on or that the rumours are wrong and that Gvardiol still plays would be the way that I would probably do it. Kevin says, Edison for Onana or Sterling for Martinelli or both for a hit. Sterling for Martinelli for me. Sam says, loving the content. Bench 1, Udogi, Gusto, Chilwell, Estepinian. Yeah, I would bench Estepinian there, Sam. Yeah, I'd bench Estepinian for sure. What are the Gvardiol rumours? I can show you again. I'm not confirming that this is correct or not. That is supposedly the Man City team for... sorry, my internet cut out a bit there. That's supposedly the Man City team for tomorrow. So there are, obviously, if this is the City team, then Gvardiol's on the bench. But this is based on what was being seen in training. So I think it's leaked that this was a team that they were set up and working around in training. But, of course, just switching out Ake for Gvardiol, that doesn't impact the team at all. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Gvardiol still start. So my advice would probably be to still start Gvardiol, but maybe just make sure that you've got a decent first sub just in case. Or if you don't want to take the risk, you can bench him. But I would feel pretty guilty if you ended up benching him and this was wrong. So, but I thought I would still share the information with you regardless. Do you like Crystal Palace defenders? Yeah, I think Anderson and Gahey are both fantastic options. Can't go really very wrong with them. Cash says, have the same midfield. Need to bring in Sterling for Martinelli. No Maddison. I missed the last 20 minutes of the stream. Yeah, I'm going to go without Maddison, I think. And yeah, I brought in Sterling for Martinelli. It's not that I think Maddison's a bad option. I think Maddison and Sterling is a literal 50-50. I think the only things in favour of Sterling is the short-term fixtures are slightly better, and I probably plan a wildcard in Game Week 9. And I also think that Sterling is cheaper. And yes, I don't need the money at the moment. I've got 1.8 million in the bank. Having the money is never an issue. So if I am really struggling between two, saving the 0.5 by going for Sterling could be quite big. So yeah, that's the reason for Sterling over Maddison. Luke Roberts asks, Sterling or Foden? Is Foden a rotation risk? Is Foden a rotation risk? Yes, but not a massive one at the moment. And I would still prefer Sterling because of the minutes. Rotation risk suggests that he's not going to start a lot of games. I think Foden will start 90% of the games, but he can come off early and he can be benched as well. So I think especially with the UCL coming back in, and I think, didn't they draw Newcastle in the next round? Was it Newcastle? One sec. Man City versus Newcastle. Yeah, in the EFL third cut round, they've drawn Newcastle as well. So I just think with all of the fixtures that they've got coming up, there is a chance that Foden's rotated a little bit more. North Star says, start Estepinian or João Pedro with Welbeck now out. Estepinian or João Pedro? I would start... I'd be tempted to start João Pedro and hope that he starts because he is on penalties as far as we know still. So I would still be tempted to go for João Pedro. Henry or Anderson? Henry. Tyler says, Ross, I think you should take a punt on Foden. I notice when you suggest punts, they usually have returns in that week, lol. This is true. This is true. My gut is telling me that Foden has a huge week this week. But my head is telling me that bringing in Foden for Rashford is causing me issues down the line that I don't need. And that Rashford could quite easily score against Arsenal as well. So yeah, my heart and my gut is telling me Foden, but my head is telling me to keep Rashford. And I tend to trust my head a little bit more in FPL. So I think I'm going to keep Rashford. But I agree, Tyler. Oyvind says, bring in Jackson /Wissa for -4 or play Bulldog. Jackson for a -4 sounds fine to me. I would be tempted to do that because then at least you've got him in for the fixtures coming up as well. Start me or Estepinian. Me just came back and it's Bournemouth. I'd start Ben Mee. Hi, Ross from Sydney. It's 3 a.m. here. That is commitment, Darren. With one free transfer, prioritise Watkins to Jackson or Martinelli to one of the midfielders. Watkins isn't a priority for me. I would sell Martinelli for one of Maddison, Sterling, Foden. It's up to you which you choose. But yeah, I don't think I would sell Watkins if I had him. Rashford to Maddison for free. If you want to, I'm opting against that. But again, if you want to, I don't dislike it at all. You've got 3 minutes until the deadline. By the time my voice reaches you, 3 minutes until the deadline. Make sure your teams are locked in. Make sure that you've sorted out your subs and all that good stuff as well. I'm going to make sure I've done the same because I was messing around with my team. Okay, yeah, I think I'm good. Saliba versus Cash. I would start Cash for the attacking threat. Darwin or Watkins? Who'd you pick? Watkins. Bowen or Sterling? Bowen this week. Sterling anything beyond this week. You've only got a couple of minutes till the deadline. Is Botman out for just this week? The latest that I've heard is that Botman is expected to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So 2 to 3 weeks. Take that however you want. I would keep Botman. I wouldn't be selling him. I probably wouldn't be buying him yet, just in case, but I would keep, not sell. Estepinian or Baldock? Probably just about Estepinian. Ross, Akanji or Estepinian, who to start? I would start Akanji instead of Estepinian. Start Rashford or Watkins? Oh, that's a tough one. I would start Rashi. Botman to Udogi for a -4. Udogi for a -4. No, I would keep Botman and just play someone else this week. Sell Rashford or Bruno? If you're going to sell one, I would sell Rashford and keep Bruno. Bruno looks brilliant at the moment. Saliba or Baldock? I think I would start Baldock ahead of Saliba. I'd give it a go. Why not? I don't think Saliba's keeping a clean sheet personally. Diaz versus Estepinian. I would start Diaz ahead of Estepinian, definitely. 100%. Thoughts on double Chelsea defence or stick with Estepinian? Double Chelsea defence sounds good to me. We've got the question, Johnston or Areola this week? I would say Johnston. Johnston, I think. Home fixture. Palace are the better defence. I would start Johnston ahead of Areola. Why not Foden for a 1 week punt? I just don't like 1 week punts in FPL. I think you're just creating issues for yourself. You have to keep making transfers. I would rather pick slightly longer term picks myself. You've got less than 1 minute till the deadline. Make sure that your teams are locked in. Stop asking questions. Lock in your teams. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Goodness me. I don't know why everyone's not doing that, you know? Udogi or Estepinian. Definitely start Udogi. Don't be afraid to bench Estepinian if you've got better options. I just don't have better options this week. Kabore or Saliba? I'd start Kabore. Wissa or Saka? Oof. I would start maybe Wissa for the fixture, but Saka's got penalties. Don't know. Subscribe first and then lock the team in. Priorities. Absolutely. Subscribe and then lock your team in. I agree. Get your priorities straight, you know. That is it. Locked. Deadline done. Game week 4. Benito. Well, not finished, but the deadline is. That's my alarm for the deadline. Locked. We are locked in. Nice alarm. Thank you, Yelena. I did my best. Right. What was I doing? I need to tweet my team. Yelena, I hope you've been here for the entire stream and you haven't just rocked up for the post-deadline part. That would be incredibly rude, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yes, it would, is the answer. Don't pipe up, Calvin. Calvin, where have you been? You've just popped up for the post-deadline part. Guys, did we just only come in for the post-deadline part of the stream? It's rude. It's incredibly rude. Why is everyone saying Chilwell's injured? Oh, it's not everyone. It's just one person. Okay, ignore that. It's just someone spamming it. I just captained Mbermo over Haaland, going for differential points. Am I insane? I don't know if insane's the word I would use, but I would not be doing that myself. I dipped in 4 times, then returned now. He sounds like me on a Friday night. Sorry. You dipped in 4 times and then returned now. Okay, I'll accept it. At least you keep coming back, you know? Looking at the silver linings here. Game week 4 team. Sorry, chat, I'm just tweeting my team. You carry on listening to me just be weird. You should have a deadline timer as a background graphic. Yeah, maybe, potentially. This is the most chill and best part of the stream. It is the most chilled part of the stream for sure. You missed the deadline. Rookie mistake. I'm sorry. It is. It really is. Martinelli. Where's the pointy button? Where's the pointy emoji, I mean? To Maddison. Roll in a second free transfer. What's for tea tonight, Ross? I don't know. I might order something. I've had a very long week, you know? Although I had KFC for lunch. How is Mrs. Baldy? She's great. She is a self-proclaimed egg, I've told you. She says all the time that she looks like an egg. Did you know my girlfriend calls me Eggy Weggy? Chat, my girlfriend calls me Eggy Weggy. That doesn't seem fair, does it? Doesn't seem fair at all. We live and leave it. Don't laugh. Don't encourage her. That's a violation. You should dump her for that. Maybe I will. Eggy Weggy, nah, what a violation. Thank you. I agree it's a violation. She just looks at me and goes, oh, you're such an Eggy Weggy. Do you know, also she said, do you know, chat, do you know what she calls the top of my head? She said that my head's not round, right? And she said that actually it goes into a bit of a peak, right? She said my head goes into a peak. So she calls me Mount Everest. Mount Everest. I'm speechless. Eggy Weggy and Mount Everest is what I get called. You know, here's what it is. What's my rank? 329k. W girlfriend. Oh, chat, I knew you would encourage her for this behavior. I'm going to message her now. I just told the chat you call me Eggy Weggy and Mount Everest. And they love it. Mount Everest. Bet she loves touching it. That's cheeky, Claudette. That's cheeky. Bet she loves touching what? FPL Eggy Weggy? Saley says, my boyfriend almost missed the deadline. Captained Eze. Outrageous. Chat, can we, listen. If she beats you in FPL this season, can you rebrand to FPL Egoras for a month? No, because she's quite good at FPL. I can't. She's actually better at FPL than I am. Eggy Weggy is cute. Mount Egoras is a violation. Why not Humpty Dumpty? She calls me Humpty Dumpty as well. I've actually got a list of the insults that I get on my phone. I'm not going to lie. Most of them wouldn't make sense to anyone else, but... what's her rank? I think it's quite simple. She's only a few points behind me. I think she's like literally like 2 or 3 points behind me. Sergio Eguilon. Right. Sorry, I was tweeting my team chat. My ADHD kid. Bro has 5 girlfriends. I told you I have 7.5 girlfriends, not 5. Why are you underestimating my Riz? 329k. And then I want to say 1.8 mil in the bank. Money. Bruno Fernandes. Chat. Do you know what? I'm going to write some of these down. 1 second. Ross Egstep. wait, chat. I'm writing some of these down. Bruno Fernandes. That's a great one. What was the other one that I just read? Pervis Egstepinian. Chat, what are some other Premier League footballer funny names that we could come up with? Oh, Reguilon, that was the other one, wasn't it? Sergio Reguilon. Sergio Reguilon. Your girlfriend likes to talk about your head. So that sounds a bit sus, doesn't it? Briag and Bermo. These are brilliant. Val Egghorst. Eggerson. Sergio Reguilon, yep, I've got that one. Johnny Egan. Chat. I'm going to have to tweet some of these. What else we got? These are great. Eggy and Ketia. Chat. That one's a good one. That was my favourite, yeah. Eggy and Ketia. Darwin Nuneg. I don't know, that one might be pushing it a little bit. Abrechi Ege. Oh, wait, where have I gone? I'll tweet these after the stream. Eberechi Ege. Egham Ferguson. My God, why are there so many? Egri Consa. Oh my God, it's never ending, chat. Oh, I'm dying here. Here's the ones that I've got so far. I don't know how this will copy into the chat. Oh, it copies it really weirdly. 1 sec. Egri Consa. Wow, Egghorst, Johnny Eggins. There you go. Those are the ones we've got so far. Eglin Haaland. Eglin doesn't really like Erling Eglin. I don't think that one quite works. Martineggi. Martineggi. We could put Eglin Haaland in, I guess. Mount Everest is still my favorite. I'm sure my girlfriend's currently not watching the stream, but she watches every stream. And she watches every stream. She'll watch this stream back, and she will love the fact that the chat all find it absolutely hilarious that she calls me Mount Everest. So Wolfreg Zaha. We could put Wolfreg Zaha in there. Not currently playing in the Prem, but oh God. Ross, you've got a girlfriend now. I've been gone for too long. I know. Even I've got a girlfriend. How many subscribers are we on? Oh, we're only 3,200 subscribers away from 100,000. Serge Aurier. Yeah, that could work. Get that on there. Oh my god, Manuel Akanji. That one's going in there. That one's going high up. Manuel Akanji. That one's funny. Bakayoko Saka. Not Bakayo, but Bakayoko. Bakayoko. Bakeg. I don't even know how to type this. Bakayoko Saka. Right, chat. Right, let's move on from this. There are too many. I've already got one. I've got about 25 here. Bro, FPL mate banned me from the chat because I said you were better. No way. That's hilarious. Sorry, mate. Well, this is the stream you want to be in then. I won't ban you for saying stuff like that. Soldier Boy. Hi, Ross. So happy the channel is growing. Proud of you. I thank you for being here. I know you were here right at the start as well, so I appreciate you. Conor Gallagher. Yeah, I can put that one in there. That was a good one. Scotch McTominay. Yeah, do you know what? I rate that. I rate that one as well. Scotch McTominay. Oh, if only Fred was still in the Premier League. Freg. Mikel Egteta. Rude. Right. Feel free to ask any questions that aren't egg related or that are egg related, you know. Pin to your profile. How big is it? Huge. Rate the best ways to cook an egg from the worst to the best. What is the best way to cook an egg? I don't know. I feel like fried for me. I know, probably not a popular one. Everyone's going to say like poached probably, but I would say a fried egg. Fried, scrambled, poached, boiled. Is there any other ways? Fried, scrambled, poached, boiled in that order. Fried is clear. I agree. Can we see the egghead? I'm going to have a big thing on my forehead, though. There you go. I haven't had the egg out in a while. You can see my egg. The egg's free. My hat's too tight for my big old head, though, so it... Do a poll. I can do a poll. My forehead always looks big when I take my hat off. My eyes. No. No, don't chat. Don't be rude. Okay. Megamind. No, chat. Listen. Hang on a second. What does your t-shirt say? My t-shirt says Event Horizon. It's like, you know, like black hole stuff. Stop saying Megamind. It's so smooth. You look like Javinio. Javinio? That's outrageous. Best way to cook an egg. Fried. scrambled, poached, boiled. Start the poll. There you go. You had a bit of egg. You remind me of Zidane. Thanks. Just took a cornea off. Rude. Dr. Evil, is that you? Maurizio Pochettino. Oh, scrambled and fried are in a hell of a battle. Chat, this is intense. Look at the poll. 38% apiece. 38% for fried, 38% for scrambled. There you go. Ah, my mum's in the chat. I'm going home tomorrow to see my mum. And she's just said, fancy a curry tomorrow. Of course I fancy a curry, mum. When don't I fancy a curry? Let's be honest. I do love a good curry. Yes, I will do that, definitely. I'm going to watch the Arsenal-Man United game this weekend. Chat. Courtesy of FPL Akshay. If you know him, he's got a YouTube channel. He had a spare ticket. And he said, do you want to come to the game? Apparently, I'm going to be sitting right next to Arteta, though. Chat, what should I say to Arteta? Hi, Mama Raptor. Mama Raptor, everyone's saying hello. Do you have mushrooms in your spaghetti bolognese? I'm not a massive mushroom fan. I'll be honest. Lego head. Tell him he has Lego head. Who's a Lego head? Arteta or me? I'm assuming we're saying Arteta. I feel like I shouldn't go to the game and just call Arteta a Lego head. Ask him who's on pens. I've been informed that the person on pens is Saka. Saley Super Chat says, please, Raptor, end the stream so he can focus on me. Mohamed Shelyanusi. That is extremely... You know what? I'm going to put Mohamed Salah in there because that's pretty decent. Mohamed Salah. I like that. I respect it. Currently, Scrambled is winning with 41%, followed by Fried with 38%. Ask Arteta how he likes his eggs. Maybe I will. Chat, do you know what I got given the other day? One sec. Oh. It's because it's green. Is it? Wait. You're not going to be able to see it. It's a green bottle of Prime. That's so fun. Whoa. Whoa, that looks amazing. Listen, KSI, if you're watching, imagine a bottle of Prime that looks like that. I'm serious. That's a good idea. Wait, could I show you? If I do that. There you go. There you go, chat. There's my bottle of... You can see this is what is actually going on in the setup right now. I haven't tried it yet. I've never even tried Prime. But I was by the Sidemen Studio, and I got a bottle of Prime because I've obviously got unlimited Prime. This is a nice graphic, isn't it? We should probably go back, shouldn't we? This is... where am I going back to? It's not good, Ross. What's not good? The green screen on the Prime. Immersion ruined. I thought you were in space. Oh no, have I ruined this? Wait, where am I? There you go. I'm back in space. There you go. I love the space you've done with the Chunks and Stormzy videos in. Will we see that more? I'm trying to line up an imagine Chunks and Stormzy, and then there's an even better one. Actually, probably not. Chunks and Stormzy are probably about as good as going to. I'm trying to get a very good third guest. I've got someone in mind, and I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, there will be a big guest coming. Cabore's benched. Who's saying that? Is he? Yeah, Cabore's benched. Cabore is benched. What a nightmare. What is your regime for your beard? Nothing really. Literally, I have a beard shampoo and conditioner, and that's it. I don't even use oil, really. I'm just lucky that it kind of stays fairly neat. Started watching you since the last game week of last season. So much better than any other deadline streams. Thanks, my little egg. Thanks, my little eggy egghead. Love from Cornwall. You're more than welcome, Harry. I appreciate the love as well. Raptor, who is better at FPL? Harry, Abraham, George, or Josh? Harry. Harry's the best out of those options. Ross, what do you think about Amrabat? He's exactly what we need. Competition for Casemiro / backup or to play alongside him. I think Amrabat is literally perfect. It's exactly what we needed. And at a good price as well. I'm a big fan. Quite cool that you have shampoo for your beard, but not for your head. Facts. Where are you from, Ross? Claudette has answered that. I'm from Essex. Oh, my back is destroyed. My back is so destroyed. Ah. Big stretch. Ross, do you like the name? I can't even pronounce that for a hamster. Yeah, it looks like a great name. Shave your beard and just leave the moustache. I'm not going to lie. I'd look very terrible. Like this. It's just a moustache. No, Harry is bad. I'm Josh. Harry is awful. Fair play, Josh. I trust you. My battery is dying. Bye. See you later. Why the preference to Sterling over Maddison? I just think over the next 5, he's got better fixtures, and I'm planning to wildcard in game week 9. Who do you think spends the most time making FPL content? Probably Andy. No, Andy's quite quick to make. I'd say it's one of the big 5. It will be either Andy, Dan, Oscar, myself, or Harry. I don't know who spends the most out of those 5. Because FPL Focal's videos take longer for the graphics, but you have to, and he writes the script, but you have to remember the actual recording won't take as long. I don't know. Everyone will say FPL mate, but why are you saying mate? Is it just because mate tells you that he spends 18 hours a day on his graphics or whatever? I'm interested why you think it's FPL mate. I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying I'm interested why. What about Holly? I don't think so. Who's a better FPL content creator, you or Oscar? Depends what you're after, really, isn't it? Really, really depends what you're after. He makes the most videos. I don't think so. I think Andy and him make it. Chat, this week, I had 5 videos and a stream. That is the joint most out of anyone on YouTube. 6 pieces of content this week. I've never watched your stream and was checking it out. What are these questions? Chris, this is the post-deadline part of the stream where we don't really talk about FPL. I stream for like 2.5 hours talking about FPL. And then afterwards, we just kick back and talk about whatever we want to. Is there beef with FPL, mate? Not at all, no. We are all good. We love the daily content. Who is your favourite content creator, by the way? Drop it in the chat. Don't feel like you got to say me, by the way. I'm not going to block anyone if they don't say me. Who would you say like you watch the most of on YouTube? Interested to know. Again, no pressure to say me. I promise I will not block anyone. Yeah, definitely vocal Oscar. Oscar's very good at what he does. Yeah, and Andy's the GOAT, isn't he? Andy's been doing it the longest. He does it very well. I agree. FPL family. I do love FPL family. Lee and Sam are great. You, Harry, Dan, you and Andy. Anyone but Raptor? Rude. Yeah, lots of love for Oscar, Andy, and Dan. I respect it. I respect it. Yeah, Harry's obviously brilliant, really good manager. FPL Wire, probably my favourite YouTube channel. My favourite FPL channel is probably the FPL Wire. Just, I think Prazoff and Late Riser are just brilliant. Praz is one of those people that oh, my light's dead. Praz is one of those people where I would just trust implicitly everything he says. Wait, I can do this, can't I? It's not as bad then. You can see me in the dark. Right, chat, I think that's probably a sign that it's time to go. When the light dies, it's been 3 hours. I think that's normally my sign to head off. I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the stream. Here's my behind the scenes of my green screen. Best of luck for Game Week 4. There is an international break, so there'll be less content next week, but then the week after, going into Game Week 5, we'll be talking a lot more FPL and all of that lovely stuff. So, I love you lots. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.